presented by Vizio. In the latest chapter of one of college football's great traditions, two high-octane conference champions meet in Pasadena. Behind the dynamic duo of Russell Wilson and Monty Ball, the Badgers look to outrun LaMichael James and the Ducks.
Touchdown, Oregon!
It's the granddaddy of them all. The 2012 Rose Bowl game presented by Vizio, Wisconsin, Oregon. Coverage begins today at 4:30 on ESPN.
No, much more.
Behind the dynamic duo of Russell Wilson and Monty Ball, the Badgers look to outrun LaMichael James and the Ducks. It's the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl game presented by Vizio today on ESPN.
I always look forward to that game out there in Pasadena. That's it. Our time here on ESPN2 is done. We're heading over to ESPN News.
Yeah, Mom and Dad, turn the channel now. Enjoy Florida State and Ohio State, or Florida and Ohio State here.
You're watching ESPN's presentation of Capital One Bowl Week.
Welcome to Jacksonville on the second day of 2012. Today, Florida and Ohio State meet almost 4 years to the day after they faced off for the national championship. January 8th, 2007, Florida defeated Ohio State. Urban Meyer's Gators were #1 in the nation. But much has changed for Florida, Meyer, and Ohio State. The Buckeyes are coming off a year unlike any other.
He and I talked about the state of our program, and it's at that time that he decided to resign.
I can't tell you how humbled and honored I am to stand here as the head coach of The Ohio State University.
Miller throws it up deep right side, touchdown Ohio State!
Michigan finally beats Ohio State!
Our objective is simple: to make the state of Ohio proud. Recruit student athletes will win in the classroom and win on the field.
Today, Luke Fickell is at the helm of the Buckeyes one more time, facing Meyer's old Florida team. Elite programs, disappointing seasons. One will finish strong today. Welcome to the TaxSlayer.com Gator Bowl. Florida and Ohio State both come in at 6-6 on the season. A loss for Florida would be their first losing record since 1979, and they're determined to avoid that in their home state today. And here come the Florida Gators. Hi, everybody. Mike Patrick, Ed Cunningham. It's great to have you with us. Florida comes into this game 6-6. It's first under Will Muschamp. They made the transition from the spread offense to a pro style, and it's still a work in progress.
Yeah, it didn't go quite as planned for Florida. They got much better on defense, as you would expect under Will Muschamp and his defensive background. But a lot of that had to do with injuries, especially at quarterback. John Brantley, who was playing sensationally against Alabama before he suffered an ankle sprain, came out of that game and was out the last game against Florida State with a head injury. But also, Randy and Demps, two of the fastest guys in all of college football both battled ankle injuries. With these 3 guys healthy, I would expect this offense will be a little better than the 102nd ranking that they had at the end of the regular season.
Ohio State comes into this game really in the same boat as the Gators. They need to avoid a loss to fall to 6-7, and they've got to do it with a freshman quarterback.
And Braxton Miller was a guy that they had to turn to after terrible loss to Miami after the 4th game of the season. And he saved his best for last. He played very well on a big stage against Michigan. Still a bit of a work in progress in the throwing game. But when he gets outside of the pocket, very accurate. And in 3 of his last 4 ball games, he ran for over 100 yards. That's something Florida will have to key on this afternoon.
Very nice day down on the sideline, sunny and bright. Janine Edwards will be working down there for us.
Well, Mike,
and let's check in with her right now.
Mike, as you mentioned, Luke Fickell just led his team to the field for the last time as the head coach of the Buckeyes. And he told me it's been a very trying season. He said, I found out what true pressure is. He said, and I learned I can handle just about anything. Now, moments ago in the locker room, he told his team, guys, this is not about me. It's not about the seniors. This is about having pride in one another and not letting the guy next to you down. And Mike, Fickell's been a great example for them to follow.
Boy, he sure has, Janine. He has done it with class, and considering the circumstances surrounding his first year as a head coach, hard to imagine anybody could have come out better than 6-6.
And it was that class and what they have done here at Ohio State over the years defensively that had Urban Meyer retain Luke Fickell as his co-defensive coordinator going into next year. Had a conversation with Coach Meyer yesterday, and he said, I've done it at all my stops before. If it's a good person and a good coach, I want him around on my staff.
Drew Basel will kick it off, and the speedy Jeff Demps is deep for the Gators. And the ball goes out of bounds inside the 1-yard line. Tough break for Ohio State as they tried to pin Demps in the corner. And now the Gators will be able to take it all the way out to the 40-yard line. This is John Brantley, the senior from Ocala, threw for 1,912 yards this year, 10 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. 3 of those came in the first 5 possessions of his last game against Florida State.
And Florida State was just a disastrous day for this offense. The defense played well, held the Seminoles to 95 yards of total offense. All 21 points in that game, though, came off of Florida turnovers.
Yeah, the defense was brilliant. The offense gave him no help whatsoever. Charlie Weiss was the offensive coordinator of this club this year as they made the transition to the NFL Pro set, but Charlie Weiss is gone, becoming the head coach at Kansas. Rainey moves back into the backfield. Brantley looks his way and throws to him. Rainey, with blazing speed, will pick up about 8 yards to the 48-yard line. Let's take a look at today's impact players, brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
Well, we've already seen one of the impact players in Chris Rainey. Had a couple ankle injuries between Rainey and Demps. They're 100%. Jay Howard needs to step up his game at defensive tackle, as well as Jonathan Bostic. He'll be key, Bostic, against Braxton Miller, the quarterback from Ohio State. They run a lot of quarterback design runs, so that middle linebacker spot key for Will Muschamp and his defense.
Out of the eye this time. Draw, Rainey, first down and more. Had a hip injury against Florida State. Looks like he's over that. Got a good block from Alajazian, who's starting at the left tackle. They're really changed around. Both of these offensive lines have switched guys all over the place.
And Florida went back basically to training camp, getting ready for this bowl. And Matt Patchen, who was a starter at right tackle, is out. So Chaz Green bumps over, and Alajazian, who has not played tackle since high school, moves out to the left side at tackle.
Hunter Joyner, number 41, in at fullback. Instead, they throw to the sideline, and that one's complete to Deontay Thompson. This is a very inexperienced wide receiver core, and that doesn't help Brantley very much either.
And Brantley, a guy who's been banged around with this offensive line, going through all of the changes. There's one down around his leg by Ryan Shazier. And remember, it was that high ankle sprain that knocked him out the middle part of the season. Suffered it against Alabama.
Good opening drive so far for the Gators. They have reached the Ohio State 32. Jeff Demps in for the first time. He's number 28, and Demps trying to get to the outside and just tripped up. What a tackle by Sabino. Etienne Sabino saved what could have been a very big game.
And we expect to see a little more of this Wildcat formation with Trey Burton in there. Talk to Brian White. You mentioned that Charlie Weis has moved on to be the head coach at Kansas. So Brian White takes over as the offensive coordinator. And talking to him earlier this week, he said, you know, Trey Burton's a big, smooth athlete. I think we're going to be seeing him a lot more in that Wildcat formation today.
Much more Tebow-like than Brantley. Gives it off to Demps again. And so far, the Florida offensive line is having its way with Ohio State's defense. Bradley Roby up from the corner had to make that stop.
And for the University of Florida, Brian White is the interim offensive coordinator. And here's a guy with 10 years of experience. He called plays for Barry Alvarez at Wisconsin for 8 years. So has a background in a power running game, which is what Will Muschamp wants. He doesn't want the spread. They're going to run some of that Wildcat because that's what this team knows. But as they go forward, it's going to become a power running team here in Florida.
Brantley, look out from behind. Is it a fumble or incomplete? Ruled incomplete. Adam Bellamy, number 93, had pressure.
And then
Ohio State stands up on defense.
Well, we've been talking about Al-Ajajian. He went to do a cut block that time against Bellamy. Bellamy did a wonderful job of using his hands and knocking Al-Ajajian to the ground. But Al-Ajajian, who'd been a backup guard throughout the year, getting his first start, and he never played left tackle, even in high school.
Caleb Sturgis, one of the premier field goal kickers in the country.
The ruling on the field was an incomplete pass. The previous play is under further review.
Now they're going to look at this, but Sturgis is on to try from 44 yards out, if indeed they go for the field goal at this point. Looked like one of those bang-bang plays that could have gone either way. That's why we love replay. Ooh.
Awfully close. Awfully close. I'm not sure if it's indisputable, though.
No,
to give
when
it
it's
the
that
turnover.
close, by definition, it almost can't be. Although from that angle, it looks like he got hit before his arm was coming forward.
I have a feeling this review may take a little while to figure out.
Boy, that is
it's right
on
the
the edge, isn't it?
What were we saying yesterday? What's the definition of indisputable?
Indisputable.
Yeah, so this is right on the line. And what they look for is, as that hand comes forward, is it empty? Oof. Again, it's right there. I'm not sure that you can overturn this.
And the call on the field is really what makes the difference, and they called that incomplete. If they had called it the other way, they probably wouldn't have been able to overturn that.
And that's been the problem all year for Will Muschamp. The offensive line very thin. It's a huge focus for them in recruiting, which is going very well for the Gators right now. But the other thing that they'll have to look at, if they do in fact rule this a fumble, I personally don't think, my opinion is you can't overturn it because I think it's too close. I don't think it's indisputable. But they will also have to figure out, if they do say that it was a fumble, where it was recovered. Now, here's the other thing. That ball was not recovered in the immediate action after the play. I think they have to let this stand as an incomplete pass. The rule is, if they say it's incomplete or it's not a fumble, it has to be recovered in the immediate action after the play. And because that ball sat there and Brantley sat there, could have reached out and grabbed it, I'd have a hard time overturning this call.
They could even, to my way of thinking, they could even call this a fumble, but Florida would keep it because the ball was not recovered immediately by either team.
Yes, I think that's a good point. Now watch how long this ball is on the ground, and they changed this a couple of years ago on a fumble. It used to be that this would be a dead ball and it'd be Florida's no matter what. Then they said, okay, let's let it play out through the immediate action in case it is a fumble, but that clearly was not in the immediate action after the play.
All right, we've got a decision.
After further review, the ball was fumbled and recovered by Ohio State at the 26-yard line.
I don't see how you overturn that one. I really don't. It was too close to call, I think, on the fumble or the throw. Plus, it did not happen. The recovery was not done in the immediate action after the play. A huge call going Ohio State's way.
Couldn't agree with you more.
And that's such a tough call for an official when it's real time like that to know if the ball came out or not. But I don't think
isn't that why we have replay?
Yeah.
When the calls are that close, to be able to go back and look at it from 6 different angles in super slow motion.
Frame, yeah. But I'm a little shocked that that was overturned. I think they should have let that stand.
Well, Ohio State's got to be happy with the decision. And they'll send out Braxton Miller, the freshman who threw for less than 1,000 yards but rushed for 695, and his legs are what got him this position on the Ohio State ball club. Boom Herron will take it out shy of the 30 as he picks up a couple.
And Herron, a young man who was suspended for the first 6 games of the season, the first 5, of course, for trading memorabilia for tattoos, and then he got an additional game tacked on when it was found out that he did less work than he should have for a job over the summer. But his teammates voted him the MVP of the year because of how hard he worked on scout team during those 6 weeks and the leadership he brought in when he came off of suspension.
Movement on the right side by J.B. Sugarts
of the offense.
The right tackle,
penalty,
that'll cost him 5. The interesting thing when Herron was back in the lineup, Ed, for those 6 games, 3 of the 6 games, they scored more than 30 points. So he makes a massive difference.
And they needed Braxton Miller, a true freshman quarterback who's quiet by nature. And so to get Herron back, who's a very vocal, hardworking guy, really gave a boost to this offense that was not very good the first half of the season.
Miller from the shotgun on a planned run. Hit out of bounds, and that'll be 15 yards. And he went into some of the equipment on the sideline, or somebody got knocked into the equipment on the sideline. It's one of the support staff for the Gators. Looks like a young lady hit her head. Josh Evans was the guy who gave him a form after he was out of bounds.
After the play, a late hit out of bounds by the defense. The 15-yard penalty, and it's a first down.
Especially with a quarterback, officials are taught err on the side of safety, and clearly Miller out of bounds, a mental error by Evans, and another big break for Ohio State.
It is a game of aggression, but it is a game of controlled aggression. Ohio State with another break. They're out to their own 46. Herron into Gator territory for the first time. Deontay Saunders made a tackle. Let's take a look at today's Impact Players, brought to you by Chick-fil-A, Ed.
Braxton Miller, of course, the young man that they brought in after Game 4 to be the starter. Starting to grow in the passing game. A good runner. Dan Herron, already mentioned, was voted the MVP of the team because of the leadership he brought. John Simon, first team All-Big Ten, leads the team in sacks. And C.J. Barnett will have a very busy day. Expect Demps and Rainey to move all over the field, and that safety who leads the team in tackles will mirror them.
Posey and Brown, the wide receivers, to the near side. Power football. Herron straight up the middle. 12 yards for Boom Herron, the number 10 all-time rusher in the history of Ohio State football.
University of Florida is missing Dominique Easley, an inside defensive tackle who blew out his knee against Florida State. And he was missed there. Easley was starting to play very well at a high level. And that time, Bostic, the middle linebacker, got popped by the fullback, number 44, Zach Boren. And if you like fullback play, check out 44. Pretty good one.
Every tackle so far has been made by a member of the Florida secondary. That is not a good sign. Miller forced out of the pocket, and down he goes. That time, the Gator front wall applied some pressure. Sharif Floyd, the 295-pound sophomore, after William Green forced him up in the pocket.
Floyd goes down inside, and they run a stunt. both the defensive tackles and the defensive ends switch responsibilities. Floyd did a good job of turning his shoulders and getting skinny, which is hard to do for a 295-pound man, but that's what you do when you make that move to the side. You turn your shoulders. It makes it hard for the offensive line to get their hands on you.
And they need to generate pressure with the front four against Miller. And you can chalk that one up to the secondary. They dropped 7, rushed 4. There was good protection initially, but Miller couldn't find anybody, even though he had all day, and they finally got there.
And this is where a young quarterback harms you, because you were starting to get into field goal range for Drew Basil, and now you start going backwards. He needs to just get out of the pocket and throw this one away, Mike, because you're exactly right. There was just nobody in white open. So find yourself some space and throw that one into the stands.
This takes them all the way back to the 45-yard line, and it's 3rd and 18. Floyd already with 1.5 sacks in this game. 4-man rush again. Quarterback draw. Very conservative call that'll pick up about 3.
And I think the fear here by Jim Bowman, the offensive coordinator for Ohio State, was, hey, I've already seen this guy be a little shaky in the pocket. Let's not have a turnover. But a good stop for Florida defensively.
But when you have a quarterback that only has a 50% completion rate, which in this day and age is very low, and he's already been chased around in the pocket twice, 3rd and 18, the call is not to let him take a 7-step drop and do it again.
And, you know, Jim Bowman has taken some heat for his conservative play calling this year, but that one I agree with. You don't want to turn the ball over early in the game. Play a little field position.
Buchanan hangs one high, trying to kill it inside the 5. Almost, but it makes the end zone. 42-yard punt. There's a timeout on the field. Nothing here in Jacksonville.
We were doing a live shot for SportsCenter, and my 5-year-old at the time, he was kind of waving and sitting in the chair and waving. I can see him out of the corner of my eye. I'm trying to focus as best I can on the question, and at the same time, I'm going like, and there's his little head peeking over my shoulder, trying to see if he's on TV. They don't look at me as a broadcaster as I'm dad. I'm a sheriff. That's basically what I am. My name is Kirk Herbstreit, and I'm definitely comfortable in my own skin.
It's so nice to spend time just you and me.
I know. This is great.
You know, I feel like... Did you just check the game on your phone?
What? No. What am I, like some kind of summoner who can just summon footage to his phone like that? Come on.
I guess I'm just a little oversensitive. It's just that you and
Yes.
Only AT&T's network lets your iPhone download 3 times faster. AT&T.
Good morning, Dave. Good morning, Dave. Right. Dave? Hey, Dave. Hey. Hey, Dave. Mr. Dave. Dave? What's up, Dave? 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 Hi, Dave. Oh, Dave's looking for you. Hey, Dave. Yo, Dave!
In a small business, it's all you. That's why you have us. At Staples, we have low prices on everything your small business needs. Staples, that was easy.
A new class of budding stars, headlined by Mario Edwards and Eddie Goldman. Follow in the footsteps of former greats Julio Jones and A.J. Green. The 2012 Under Armour High School All-America game, Thursday at 7:30 on ESPN.
That's amazing.
You know what else is amazing? How easy it is to save on motorcycle insurance with Geico. Geico, saving people money on more than just car insurance.
College football in high definition is presented by Vizio. ESPN College Football, the TaxSlayer.com Gator Bowl is brought to you by TaxSlayer.com. $9.95 for your federal tax return. Bud Light, it's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. and the new Capital One Cash Card for people who want 50% more cash.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. made quite an entrance for the coin toss today, driving the TaxSlayer.com nationwide car onto the field. And right now he's downstairs with Janine Edwards.
Yeah, Mike, that was quite an entrance. I have never seen a race car driven onto a football field. Was that a first for you as well?
Well, we'd done it one time in a commercial, but for a game like this, a coin flip and all that, it was pretty exciting.
What brought you here?
Well, TaxSlayer.com is the reason I'm here. They're one of our partners, and they're sponsoring this game, this bowl game, and so I got to thank them. This is my first college game, so I'm pretty excited to be here, and I got to thank TaxSlayer.
I can't believe this is your first college game. What have you been doing with yourself all these years? Now, you were voted the most popular driver for the 9th season in a row. Why do you think you resonate so well with the fans?
Well, I had a great family name with the Earnhardt name. My dad did a lot for the sport and had a lot of fans himself, and I got a lot of those fans. But just being yourself, I think, and just being a good guy, you know, going out there and doing a good job and being good to your fans. I think that's helped me a lot, and they've been really supportive. We have some of the best fans in the sport and business in NASCAR.
Second only to college football fans, I might say. and he was 7th in the standings this year. He had a good season, Mike.
All right, thanks, Janine. Appreciate it. We will have a 3rd down for Florida. They have given the ball twice to Demps. 3rd down and about 2.
Energizer Ultimate Lithium lasts up to 8 times longer versus Energizer Max, which means up to 8 times less waste. Energizer Ultimate Lithium. Now that's positive energy.
Tonight it's a top 5 duel between 2 of the game's most feared offensive weapons. Andrew Luck and Stanford take on Justin Blackman. Number 4 against number 3. It's in the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Tonight, 8:30 Eastern on ESPN, ESPN Radio, and ESPN3, as well as streaming live on ESPN.com and the Watch ESPN app. Gators trying to get something started on offense again, and they'll give it to Chris Rainey. This kid only 5'9", 174, gets banged around a lot.
And, you know, for Florida, they've already had a delay of game, and then they had to call a timeout after 2nd down. I think that this is a function of mechanics. Charlie Weiss was the offensive coordinator before he left for Kansas, was down on the field. Now Brian White, who's calling the plays, is up in the booth, and I think they're having a hard time early in this game with some of their play communication.
3rd down, they need to reach just past the 40 to move the sticks. Brantley in trouble, spins out of it, throws. It looks like it's a complete pass, and it is up to the 43-yard line. What an effort by the quarterback. Brantley got it to Andre DeBose. John Simon was putting the pressure on but couldn't finish the deal.
Yeah, and Florida's really struggling at that left tackle position with Matt Patchen out with the injury, having to move a guard who'd never played tackle in college over there. But Brantley, a nice throw and excellent body position by DeBose. It was good coverage by Bryant, but DeBose almost boxed him out like a power forward.
Brantley did a great job of squaring up his shoulders after he got out of trouble to throw that pass. This one flutters out there, and it's incomplete because of the big hit by Bradley Roby. Brantley either had his hand hit or the ball was tipped. That slipped out of there somehow.
And the offensive line for Florida right now is not playing very well. Ohio State's defensive line, that time it was Bellamy again. Remember, he was the guy who got pressure earlier. Right now, the guys in the white shirts are beating the guys in the blue shirts every time Florida drops back to pass.
And offense was not the Gators' strength this year. It was not Ohio State's strength. Both leaned on their defenses heavily. Brantley quickly to his tight end, A.C. Leonard. This kid's 6'4", 244 pounds. And he's one of those guys who was very grateful that they went to an NFL style because he would have very little role in the traditional spread offense.
And with A.C. Leonard and Jordan Reed, just a sophomore at tight end. Whoever becomes the offensive coordinator, Will Muschamp is in the process of looking at offensive coordinators. Of course, Brian White, somebody that he may keep around, but they are going to keep this exact offense. Whoever comes in is going to have to learn this offense, not bring his own to the table. They want some continuity.
Four-man rush, good protection this time. Brantley, a strike. A perfect throw to Chris Rainey. Rainey, in addition to being their leading rusher, is tied for the lead in receiving with a tight end Jordan Reed. That was a gain of 20. Rainey split his time last year between wide receiver and running back, so he's good at this.
And the whole key here, you mentioned it's an accurate throw, but it's thrown right on time as Rainey is running between the nickelback and the linebacker. Brantley fires it in there early. If you wait on that ball, that window closes. So not only an accurate throw, but a timely one as well.
First down from the 33. Rainey, little stutter step, gets back to the line of scrimmage and struggles forward for maybe a yard.
Chris Rainey, the ball carrier.
It's a great start for Brantley, especially with the what have to be haunting memories of his last game.
And a guy who struggled last year, was really a square peg in a round hole. He is not a spread quarterback. And of course, just like in coaching, you want to be the guy that follows the guy. Yeah. Well, unfortunately for Brantley, he's a drop back quarterback who came into a Tim Tebow built system and had his struggles, but this system fits him way better.
Rainey bursts through the hole and looks to have enough for a first down. Shazier made the stop.
And this is something that Brian White needs to see get going. Nice blocking by Florida. You saw them cover up all of the white jerseys. You know, blocking a lot of times is not about knocking guys all over the field. It's about getting your body square on the defensive player. And Brian White, who coaches the running backs, that's what the running back wants to see. Get bodies in front of the white shirts and let me cut off of them.
First down at the 22-yard line. Play action fake to Rainey, and then Rainey's out in the pattern. He was wide open. Brantley didn't see him, instead tried to throw deep, but didn't have much of a chance as Simon drilled him. And look at all the Gators still on the ground.
And Xavier Nixon, who came in at tackle, they had been struggling on the left side, got rolled up, and Brantley, who's been hurt all year, holding his right arm. But it was the play action, and watch number 73 as Simon goes to take him down. Simon came off of the right side of the offensive line and hits the forearm, helmet to his forearm, and I'd be surprised if Brantley's going to be able to hold on to the ball because of that hit to his forearm.
So we'll keep an eye on both Nixon and Brantley as we go away to break.
Capital One's new cash rewards card gives you a 50% annual bonus, so you earn 50% more cash. If you're not satisfied with 50% more cash, send it back. I'll be right here waiting for it. Who wouldn't want more cash? I'll take it. I'll make it rain up in here.
The new Capital One Cash Rewards Card. The card for people who want 50% more cash.
What's in your wallet? Sorry, I'll clean this up. Shouldn't have made it rain.
Leadership, excellence, performance. It's what Heisman and Aflac's all about. Aflac, an official partner of the Heisman Trophy.
Energizer Ultimate Lithium. Lasts up to 8 times longer versus Energizer Max, which means up to 8 times less waste. Energizer Ultimate Lithium. Now that's positive energy.
The Discover Orange Bowl, Wednesday on ESPN.
I was having trouble getting out of bed in the morning because my back hurt so bad.
The Sleep Number bed conforms to you. Wake up in the morning with no back pain.
Do you toss and turn, wake up with back pain? If so, call us now. You'll learn how the Sleep Number bed helps relieve back pain by allowing you to adjust the firmness and support to conform to your body for a more proper spinal alignment. Just look at this research. 93% of participants experienced back pain relief. Plus, it's a great value because it costs about the same as an innerspring, yet lasts twice as long. So if you want to sleep better or find relief for your bad back, call now.
Call 1-800-253-6902 for your free information kit with DVD, brochure, and price list.
Call 1-800-253-6902 and we'll include a free $50 savings card. That's 1-800-253-6902 for your free information and this free $50 savings card. Call now.
Nothing late first quarter. That's Xavier Nixon, the injured left tackle who was walking surprisingly well off the field during that timeout. He got rolled up on. John Brantley, the starting quarterback, was also injured. He banged his right arm, but he's staying out there. And why not? Brantley's off to a hot start. 7 out of 9, 65 yards, 6 different receivers so far. Gillislee will get a carry. Last game of the regular season in Gainesville, Brantley was picked off 3 times in the first half by Florida State, but he didn't even make it to the second half because he was sandwiched by the Seminole defense in the second quarter, left the game, did not return to action, suffered a concussion, and has since gone through that process where you're evaluated until you are symptom-free and allowed to return. Third down here. Four-man rush. Brantley to the end zone. Touchdown, Deontay Thompson. Nice throw by Brantley. Finally got the protection that he'd been struggling to get on this drive, and it's 17 yards for a score.
Nice throw after having that forearm pounded pretty hard. He went over to the sideline when we were at break and was working on his throwing motion. He looked fine, but that was also a nice job of looking off the safety.
Now he went to the ground. One of the officials came in to try to stop the play before the extra point. Let's see what they do, because they're going to have to review this. You have to maintain possession of the ball all the way through the act of the catch.
And what Luke Fickell is upset about is he was trying to get a timeout to challenge that. One of the new things in college football this year is they are allowed to have TVs in the coaches' booths upstairs. I'm sure someone upstairs said, "That did not look like a catch, coach. Get a timeout, challenge this." Fickell came running out to try to get that timeout with the referee, and they didn't get it, and he's upset about that and should be.
I truly believe they need a rule change in this. You can't hustle up and run another play in order to beat the system. I just think that's wrong. Now remember, you have to hold this ball all the way through the catch. And Deontay Thompson goes to the ground. The moment he hits the ground, the ball comes loose.
Now, if the ball moves and then touches the ground, and right now Luke Fickell's going to lose this argument. If the ball moves and touches the ground, it's an incomplete pass, and that's why Fickell was trying to get it. To me, I think it would be another one of those instances where not enough video evidence to overturn the call on the field, but I can see why Fickell was trying to get a timeout to challenge this.
Absolutely.
But it is up to the booth upstairs. The replay officials, if it's close, they should kill it before the team runs the play.
Absolutely. Jordan Hall deep for Ohio State, and the kickoff boomed into the end zone 8 yards deep. Let's check into the studio. Here's Ryan Burr.
All right, Mike, Ticket City Bowl. Houston taking on Penn State, and this thing has been all Cougars. Case Keenum having himself a first half, finding a wide open Patrick Edwards, 75 yards. It is now 24-7 Houston. That game over on ESPNU. Guys?
They can explode. That is an awesome offense, except the game where they, I think, wanted it the most, and that was in the conference championship game that would have put them in the BCS.
And Southern Miss, a team that, if you didn't get a chance to see them this year, that was a top 15
They're
team.
pretty
that
good.
Was an awfully good club.
They were pretty good. They played great defense that day, that's for sure. So Ohio State will start from the 20. Herron the tailback, and he'll get the call. Picks up 6. That ball came loose. Gators have it. Tyler Moeller came up with it on the bounce, and now Ohio State is going to contend that Boom Herron was down.
Can't see if the ball is coming loose there, but Florida out on the field, and they're going to try to do exactly what they did before, which is run a quick play before this can be reviewed.
Well, that looked to me like he was down, and now the officials just barely.
The ruling on the field was the fumble
stopped.
recovered by Florida. The previous play is under further review.
Well, things have been a little shaky, haven't they?
Yes, they have. And I think the replay officials that time, exactly what you were talking about last time, Mike. I think they saw, look, this is close. Let's go ahead and kill it, because Florida very smartly. That ball looked like it was moving before Herron's backside hit the ground. Yeah, that ball looked like it was not secured by Herron as he was falling down. So I would suspect that this will be confirmed. And that's Omar Hunter.
Even magnified. It's
too many bodies in the way.
I thought he was down. I thought his rear end hit the ground before the ball came loose.
Awfully close, but again, it goes back to the one we had before. It's not what you think, it's what you see. And it's awfully close.
Well, sometimes it's not even what you see.
Fair point. And this is something that Florida did not do very well all year. They were last in the SEC, only forced 12 turnovers. Very good defensively, but something they
After further review, the ruling on the field stands.
Now,
that means they didn't have enough to overturn.
Yeah, if they don't say it's confirmed, it just means they didn't see it. And I think, unlike the Brantley fumble earlier, I think they got that one right. Too close to call, so let the call on the field. But you know, Will Muschamp, he and his defensive coordinator, Dan Quinn, every time we talked to him, they talked about camp. It was, and I kept saying, you mean training camp? They said, no, bowl preparation. But they continued to call it camp. They got after it, getting ready for this game.
Rainey on the draw. Well, the guy stronger than he looks. Takes a big hit at the end of the run, but picked up 7. Etienne Sabino was the guy who drilled him at the end of that run.
You know, we've been talking about all the injuries up front for Florida, but for Ohio State, it's been musical chairs at that linebacker spot. What a nice pop by Sabino at the end of that play. But this is a group that was banged up, and Andrew Sweat moves over to the middle linebacker spot, a guy who missed the last ball game with a dislocated elbow.
The exchange from center was fumbled, and Ohio State is on it. Buckeyes football. John Simon, the man who recovered it. Brantley never had it from his center.
Ball did not seem to get up. Jonathan Harrison, the center there, looked like he may have short-armed it just a little bit. Went off to the side. It wasn't a clean, direct snap, and Brantley knew right away that he couldn't get it. And sometimes that ball falls right there, and the quarterback can fall on it. With all those legs moving around, the ball got kicked as the offensive line was reaching to their right.
An exchange of fumbles, and Herron bursts out across the 40. That's the end of the first quarter at the TaxSlayer.com Gator Bowl. 7-0 Florida over Ohio State.
This was the Gulf's best tourism season in years.
All because so many people wanted to visit us in Louisiana.
They came to see us in Florida.
Nice try. They came to hang out with us in Alabama.
Once folks heard Mississippi had the welcome sign out, they couldn't wait to get here.
This year was great, but next year is going to be even better.
And anyone who knows the Gulf knows that winter is prime time fun time.
The sun's out, the water's beautiful.
You can go deep sea fishing for amberjack, grouper, and mackerel.
Our golf courses are open. Our bed and breakfast have special rates.
And migrating waterfowl from all over make this a bird watcher's paradise.
So if you missed it earlier this year, come on down.
If you've already been here, come on back to Mississippi,
Florida,
Louisiana,
Alabama.
The Gulf's America's getaway spot, no matter where you go.
So come on down and help make 2012 an even better year for tourism on the Gulf.
Brought to you by BP and all of us who call the Gulf home.
Would you like her to rephrase the question?
I'm not going to be the person I'm expected to be anymore.
Be unexpected. Bleu de Chanel.
At Chanel.com.
Try our tasty chicken minis for breakfast.
You have not assigned us a single forward mission.
We need to change the way we fight.
Can you help save lives?
We count our victories by the husbands we return to their wives, by the fathers we get back to their children.
How you like that, Mr. Hitler? From the last plane, to the last bullet, to the last minute, to the last man, we fight! We fight! We fight! We fight! We fight! We fight!
Red Tails, rated PG-13.
Sunny day.
Today is the day. It's the day that I have always dreamed of forever. When you call me the champ of the world.
Welcome back to Jacksonville, Florida. 7-0. Florida Gators on top as we start the second quarter. Ohio State has the ball at its own 41-yard line. Boom Herron. Can't shake to tackle. Good effort by Deontay Saunders, who came up from his safety spot as the extra man in the box. So far, 10 rushes. They have not thrown the ball, although Braxton Miller has dropped a pass a couple of times, hasn't been able to find anybody and chased.
And you wonder why number 26, the safety, is that close to the line of scrimmage.
He saw the same stats.
Yes, he did.
Miller play action, chase from behind. It's a screen. They got it to the tight end, Hireman. So the first time they complete a pass, it's a throwback screen to the third-string tight end, Jeff Hireman. He goes 26 yards, and Stoneburner, their outstanding starter at that spot, unable to play today.
Stoneburner with arthroscopic knee surgery after the Michigan game. They expected him to be able to play, but this Hireman young man, a true freshman, they expect big things. But a good job by Braxton Miller. He had pressure coming in his face, well set up, and right in Riggs right there, but he was able to jump and make an accurate throw to Hireman.
Miller play action, wants to throw again, and completes this one to the sideline to DeVere Posey, his biggest threat. Let's go to the studio and Ryan Burr. Ryan.
All right, Mike, we have an update from the Capital One Bowl, Nebraska, South Carolina, and in a 9-6 game, it's Amir Abdullah crossing the goal line. So the Cornhuskers now 13:35 to go with a 13-9 lead over on ESPN. On ABC, Outback Bowl, Pitcher's Duel. Georgia up 2-0 on Michigan State. Guys?
That's pretty much the kind of game we have here, Ryan. Things have not gone well on offense. For the most part, Jordan Hall gets a carry for Ohio State. And for this offense going forward, Braxton Miller is going to have to prove he can throw the ball to take some of the pressure off those running backs.
And if they continue to get blocking like this and even front, so the center, Brewster, is uncovered, does a really nice job going up and fitting on the linebacker, and Brewster making his 49th career start. All Big Ten guy, better get ready for the combine to get poked and prodded by all those NFL scouts.
Hall remains in at tailback, and he'll get the carry. Lowers his shoulder and pounds inside the 10 to about the 8-yard line. Mewhort threw him a good block inside to open up some running room.
If you have watched Ohio State for any length of time over the last 10 years, you have seen that play probably 50,000 times, where the backside guard, Mewhort pulls through. It's just a power play, and it's something that Jim Tressel brought with him from Youngstown State, and Jim Bowman, the offensive coordinator, offensive line coach, continues at least until next year.
Yes, exactly. Because you know Urban Meyer is going to install his offense, and it probably is not going to have that play in it. Braxton Miller for a couple. 30 of their last 33 possessions. The others, they didn't try to score. They took a knee. So inside the red zone, they score each and every time that they try.
And, you know, it's funny when you talk to Will Muschamp on the other side, he talks about this red zone, their struggles because they can't run the ball. Well, when you have Braxton Miller and the ability of your quarterback to run, you get a lot more efficient in the red zone, where throwing the ball becomes difficult because you don't have the vertical stretch of the middle of the field.
Miller coming off of arguably his best game against Michigan. Looks for the end zone, throws complete, touchdown to Posey. That was a nice throw and a nice catch by Posey on a bullet. Three passes in the first half, but he's completed all of them. That one for a touchdown, and now Basil will come on for the point after. First two drives, Ohio State did not get off the pass. On that one, Braxton Miller was 3 for 3. Turnovers have played a big part in this game. The exchange from center went bad. Ohio State gets it and takes advantage. We're tied at 7 in Jacksonville.
It's a 403 horsepower, 6.2-liter V8. Nutcracker. The 2011 GMC Sierra. Now during the GMC holiday event, get 0% financing for 72 months, plus $500 bonus cash on Sierra, plus 1 year of SiriusXM satellite radio, including every NFL game. Hurry, our best offer of the year ends January 3rd.
It's time for Texas A&M to change the game. Time to share our Aggie spirit with our new family as we grow together. It's time for Texas A&M.
Honey, what are you doing? I thought you were getting your hair cut at Great Clips.
Already checked in.
Introducing the online check-in app from Great Clips. No more waiting around, because now we'll be waiting for you. Great Clips, it's gonna be great.
The Wolverines are looking to reclaim their spot as one of the nation's top programs, while the Hokies are out to make a statement against one of the Big Ten's elite. The All-State Sugar Bowl, Michigan, Virginia Tech. Coverage begins Tuesday at 8 on ESPN.
Trouble sleeping?
Do you wear a mask for your CPAP machine?
Stop using that old leaky mask. Get a new one now.
CPAP Care Club now offers replacement masks, filters, and tubing every 90 days for those on Medicare and most private insurance.
Imagine a soft, brand new nasal mask delivered right to your door just as you need it.
These new sleep masks fit great, don't leak, and are ultra comfortable.
But that's not all. CPAP Care Club will send you one of these.
My brand new face mask and my sleep apnea supplies show up right at the front door.
Wake up your partner less often with a soft, brand new mask.
With CPAP Care Club, you get all your supplies delivered to your door. We pay shipping, we work with Medicare or your insurance, and we handle the paperwork. The 30-day comfort guarantee lets you see if a new mask is right for you. Change the way you care for your sleep apnea. Call CPAP Care Club.
7-7 second quarter. Let's take a look at our expert breakdown, brought to you by Farmers Insurance.
One of the growth processes we've seen from Braxton Miller is his recognition and how quickly he gets the ball out. He sees one-on-one on the outside with Posey being covered by Purifoy, who runs a slant, and he threw it right on time. And you know, I was studying the tape against Michigan, and Braxton Miller, he's still working on some accuracy issues. The ball doesn't always come out very crisply out of his hands. However, you can tell this young man has been doing his homework. His preparation has gotten better. The ball comes out quickly when he sees what he wants. That time, a nice route by Posey.
Basil to kick to DeBose and Temps. Temps back to the 1. Kick can fly. So long. 99 yards. Andre DeBose. Untouched the length of the field. You can't teach speed.
But you can recruit it.
Yes, you can, and they always have. Always had guys who could fly.
And Ohio State fans should blame Urban Meyer for that one. That's one of his guys.
Sturgis for the point after. He is perfect this year on PATs. And the Gators get the lead right back.
You get the kick-out block. Look at the Ohio State players. They got walled off to the inside and not taking anything away from Andre DeBose. But this one is helmet stickers all the way around for his return team.
Hunter Joyer, who was a fullback, got the key block on that one and opened the lane.
It was blocked so well. Jeff Demps, who became the lead blocker, became the king of the parade down the sideline. He didn't even have to clean up anybody from Ohio State.
It is a Gator Bowl record 99-yard kickoff return. A record that has stood since 1982. It was 95 yards.
And this is a place, and we've seen this all throughout the bowl season, where if you're Ohio State, you better keep your eye on that ball and make sure it goes 10 yards, because you're in a bowl game, you're trying to win a game to not have a losing record. Seems like a good time maybe for an onside try.
When coaches have too much time on their hands, they come up with a bunch of tricky stuff. Jordan Hall with a running start at the 7. And the Gators do a much better job on special teams and take him down at the 22. Here's Janine Edwards.
Well, Mike, I wonder if it has something to do with the shoes the Gators are wearing today. You know, if you're watching the field closely, you can see a lot of this kicking up because the Jaguars played the Colts here at home yesterday, and the field got pretty chewed up. And I spoke to the Gators equipment manager, Jason Baston. He came, he saw the game, he talked to the Jags equipment guy who recommended that they go to the detachable cleats today. These are the molded cleats that they normally wear. These are the detachable cleats. The difference is not the height. They're all half-inch. It's the pattern. And Baston told me he was going to recommend to his Gators that they wear these today because the field is not only chewed up, but he said it's very slippery on the perimeter. It looks like DeBose had the right pair on, guys.
Boy, he sure did. Didn't have to make many cuts on that return, though. It was straight ahead speed.
Delay of game on the offense. The 5-yard penalty
And one of the reasons that when you have a bad surface that you wear the screw ends instead of the moldeds are a little softer. It's more of kind of a rubber, softer base, and those screw ends are much, much harder. So what you're hoping to do is get the cleat to penetrate down further into the surface. And that doesn't happen as well with the molded cleats as it does with the screw ends.
Carlos Hyde will get a chance at tailback, and he gets the carry. Young man with some size out to the 22-yard line, got the penalty yardage back. Omar Hunter made the stop. Hyde is 6 feet, 238 pounds.
Well, what a difference a year is going to make. You look at this offense, which has been very good to the Buckeyes. I know a lot of their fans have been upset about how conservative it has been at times, but hard to argue with the success they've had with this offense. But take a snapshot, because next year is going to look quite a bit different with Urban Meyer, who's bringing in Tom Herman from Iowa State to run the spread as his offensive coordinator.
Miller gives it to Hyde again. And one of the interesting things, Ed, about next year is the NCAA sanctions are not going to let them play for a Big Ten title even if they're eligible. They're not going to be able to go to a bowl game. So the transition from the regular Ohio State offense that people have watched over the years to Urban Meyer's offense is going to happen with no consequence whatsoever.
Except maybe at the end of the season when they could knock Michigan out of the Big Ten championship. Michigan's going to be awfully good next year, so Ohio State's going to have a few things to play for. Maybe not the championship, but boy, if Michigan's sitting there ready to play for it, that'd be a pretty big game.
Always seems to get their attention. Miller flushed. Powell chasing him. He got out of bounds right at the sticks. Be interesting to see where they're going to mark it. Boy, and it's right on top of the first down marker.
Well, they're not going to have to go far to get a measurement, are they? Close enough that they went ahead and just gave it to him. And this is something that Miller has done so well all year once he gets out of the pocket. Now, he saw it, and he went outside of it just barely. I think one thing you may want to nitpick is say, just give us another foot of breathing room there, would you?
First and 10 from the 32. Plan run for Miller. Boy, lowered his head. Braxton Miller, Luchez Purifoy was waiting in his path, and Miller said, hey, I'm 6'3", 210. I'm going to go get you. You look about 180.
And one of the things that they've done as the season has gone on is start to get to more quarterback design runs. Of course, earlier in the year, Joe Bozerman was the starter, not much of a runner, more of a pocket passer. And in the last 5 games, he has exploded 100 yards in 3 of the last 4, including 100 against Michigan.
Hyde. Of course, it's always that fine line when you have a running quarterback who's not a Tim Tebow, 245 pounds, who's not a tank playing quarterback, is how much do you run him? How much do you risk him being injured?
And I think a lot of that will have to do with once Urban Meyer gets his hands and Tom Herman, the new offensive coordinator, gets his hands on Braxton Miller. He does have a little ways to go in the passing game. He's starting to see the field better. The ball comes out quickly. He's got a little bit of an accuracy issue they're going to have to work on, but you're right. They're going to have to find the balance for sure.
Miller goes to the shotgun. First down from the 46-yard line. He and Hyde, a little option look. Didn't even get a chance to pitch it. The middle linebacker, Jonathan Bostic, who leads this team in tackles, came in and got him there. Bostic saved his best game for LSU, where he had 13 tackles.
Bostic did such a nice job on that play of running underneath the intended blocker. You know, you talk to your middle linebacker, sometimes they've got to stay in their gap, but sometimes when the blocker overruns it, you duck underneath, and Bostic did that time to great effect.
Loss of 2. 5 wide receiver formation. 4-man rush, and it's a throwback flanker screen. Trying to get it to Jordan Hall, who's coming out of the backfield. He was nearly picked by Elam.
And these little throws, when you study the tape on Braxton Miller, this is where he's going to have to grow. That ball just comes off wrong. The play was set up very nicely to Jordan Hall, who was lined up as wide receiver. Good design play, just not executed by your quarterback. And he'll miss those occasionally, and that's something they'll have to clean up during the offseason. They'll get plenty of work at it.
Well, that pass was so far off, Jordan Hall gave up on it. He thought it might be going to somebody else. 3rd and long now. Miller, they got him this time. And again, it was the secondary that did the job before Ronald Powell got his 6th sack of the season.
And Miller had a chance on this one. He's got plenty of time, but he has chance right here to break out to his right. And he just did. He tried to stay in the pocket, and the pocket was disintegrating. Good coverage downfield. But if he would have bounced that out to his right, there was a Florida defender coming over there, but he would have bought himself an extra second or two.
Buchanan to punt to Saunders with 6:42 to go in the half. Gators put some pressure on, but don't get there. Saunders fair catch just inside the 20. 6:34 to go in the half after a 43-yard punt. The Gators on top of the Buckeyes, 14-7.
Dale, next time by. Next time by. 10-4. What are you doing down there? Filing a tax return. We don't have time for that. I'm already done.
Do what the guys who know a little bit about speed and efficiency do. Log on to TaxSlayer.com.
TaxSlayer.com supports our active duty military by providing a free tax return.
The world's most irresistible burrito with crunchy flamin' hot Fritos chips, premium seasoned beef, and nacho cheese sauce is back, and one is never enough. It's Taco Bell's 99-cent Beefy Crunch Burrito.
It's a 403 horsepower, 6.2-liter V8. Nutcracker. The 2011 GMC Sierra. Now during the GMC holiday event, get 0% financing for 72 months, plus $500 bonus cash on Sierra, plus 1 year of SiriusXM satellite radio, including every NFL game. Hurry, our best offer of the year ends January 3rd.
Immerse yourself in a place where you can relax and go with the flow. A place where you can go offline and where you can reconnect. Visit a place where the sun shines 300 days and the stress melts away. Jacksonville, Florida. Immerse yourself here.
ESPN College Football, the TaxSlayer.com Gator Bowl, is brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. The GMC Sierra. Now during the GMC holiday event, trade up to the best Sierra ever and get some of the best offers of the year. And Florida's historic coast, St. Augustine, Ponte Vedra, and the beaches.
Yesterday, both Gator and Buckeye fans got their team spirit going with pep rallies at the New Year's Day Festival here in Jacksonville. And a young man who couldn't quite make up his mind. Florida will start on offense from its own 19-yard line.
Well, of course, not only the hiring of Urban Meyer, big news around Columbus, but also the NCAA handed down its punishments for the off-the-field transgressions. And, you know, the big one to me here is the number of scholarships that were pulled. And Gene Smith, the athletic director, said he was surprised and disappointed by these sanctions. I think he should be surprised and pleased. Yes, you can't play for the Big Ten title next year, which this team may have a chance to play for, so that's a big deal. But when you compare what Ohio State got to USC, USC had 30 scholarships taken away over the same amount of time. And it's nothing. It really will not harm this program except for next year, where they can't go to a bowl game and can't play for the championship.
30 is a killer.
It's a killer. And I think that the way that Urban Meyer is already recruiting, losing a couple of scholarships a year is not going to affect this team at all. I think over the long term, these punishments are going to be just a speed bump.
Third down for the Gators. Brantley goes to the shotgun. Four-man rush. Throws it out in the flat to Rainey. Young man trying to use his speed to get to the 29-yard line, maybe a foot short. So it's 4th and 1. Hesitated for a moment,
yes,
but here comes the punt team, and only a moment.
Well, let's not forget what Will Muschamp's background is. He is a defensive coach, tried and true, born and raised.
Been a punting battle all year between Christie and Lerner. Christie will get the honors here in the bowl game. One of the most highly recruited punters in the country. A low end-over-end shank and out of bounds. Not exactly what he wanted for his debut at the Gator Bowl. 4:57 to go in the half. A 22-yard kick. Ohio State with great field position.
The All-State BCS National Championship game, January 9th on ESPN.
To everyone who received the beautifully designed Buick LaCrosse during our holiday event, enjoy. To everyone who didn't, well, there's still time. During the Buick holiday event, sign and drive this 2012 Buick LaCrosse for $318 per month with nothing due at signing. Hurry, our best offer of the year ends January 3rd.
Sometimes it's not easy to find good talent for SportsCenter, which is why we brought in Les to help with recruiting.
And of course, you'll have full access to our state-of-the-art digital center. Best in the nation.
We pride ourselves in getting the best. Sometimes you just have to pull out all the stops.
Born to wear pinstripes, eh, Dad?
Oh, yeah. John Andersons just don't grow on trees. You got to go out and find them.
Can you see yourself sitting here in front of millions of sports fans?
Yes, sir.
Okay. No big deal. Keep it together. Whew, that was scary. I got lucky. Whoa, that was intense. Man, I should not be driving after drinking tonight. Just gotta get home. Almost there.
Hi. I like helping people save. Time, hassle, and the big one, money. Hundreds, in fact, if you're a Progressive customer, like me. Next 100 cars, you're on the Messenger. Release the savings, my friend.
Later this afternoon, one of college football's best. The Rose Bowl in Pasadena. 2 high-octane conference championships, or champions rather. Let the scoring begin as Wisconsin gets ready to meet Oregon. The granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl, presented by Vizio on ESPN, ESPN Radio, and ESPN3, as well as streaming live on ESPN.com and the Watch ESPN app. Used 3 tailbacks in this game. Herron is back in for Ohio State, down to the 45. Now for today's Aflac trivia question. Who was the head coach of the Gators the last time they had a losing season? Remember, they're 6-6 in this ball game. Both clubs are. And nobody wants to finish 6-7, certainly considering the proud heritage of both of these universities. Herron on the toss. And a nice block out in front, Mike Brewster.
This is something in the last 20, 25 years you've started to see more of, is the center pulling. Well, I circled the wrong guy. I was a center. You think I'd circle the right guy. But nice job by Brewster. He clears, comes up. That's the second time we've seen him go head-to-head against Bostic, the middle linebacker. Guy's got a nice future at the next level. And, of course, he's been coached very well by Jim Bowman over the last 4 years.
Got to be an athlete to do that, don't you?
That's why I never pull.
They'll give it on the end around. And that's Posey. He's taken down by Bostic.
And this was a wonderful job by Bostic. It's all about recognition. See where his eyes are? He's looking at that motion and he just reads it. That, you know what? That's film study. You get the extra practices getting ready for a bowl game. Bostic did a fine job that time, knew exactly it was coming back the other way.
2nd and 16. Two tight end formation. They'll shift them both to the wide side of the field. Miller screen. Herron breaks the tackle. Herron will be about 4 yards shy of the first down. So we've seen them do that a couple of times in a long yardage situation. They don't want to subject Miller to the kind of pressure of a straight drop back to go with a screen.
And Jim Bowman, I thought, called a wonderful game against Michigan. A guy who will not be retained by Urban Meyer and the new staff, but the offensive line coach, offensive coordinator, of course, when Jim Tressel stepped down, he was the play caller. But Bowman stepped up into that position, and I think he's called a couple of really nice games here at the end of his tenure at Ohio State.
Big play here, 3rd and 4. And Miller will give it to the tailback, Jordan Hall. And Hall had forward progress and then forced back. But he's got enough for a first down.
You know, I had a conversation yesterday with Urban Meyer about this program. And, of course, a lot of Florida fans a little stung that he came out of retirement to take this job. But he said, you know, if it wasn't Ohio State, which is where I'm from, my wife's from, it's where I started my career, I wouldn't take it. And he said the best part is I'm getting a job at a program that is not broken. This is a program that's ready to win championships, although they can't do it next year because of the NCAA penalties, but still on solid ground.
Miller had a man wide open. Posey in the corner of the end zone, and he missed him by a mile. He drilled that pass, and he didn't have to.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Mike. You don't have to fire that ball. You don't have to throw what's called a buzz throw, meaning the ball never gets more than about 10, 12 feet off the ground. Put a little air. It's a post to a corner. The defender had slipped and fallen. And Miller, who overthrew receivers a couple of times for touchdowns in that Michigan game, misses again.
And Posey had missed most of the year with an injury. Back, and he is certainly their most dangerous receiver. Miller on the draw to Hall.
And that's one of the things that you, with young quarterbacks, always trying to throw the perfect ball. It's so hard sometimes to get a young man to realize the best ball you can throw is an underthrow. Because when you overthrow it, it's like a putt that comes up short. It never goes in. But if you underthrow it, you give the guy a chance to make an adjustment. And even if covered, you may get the defensive pass interference call instead of the completion.
3rd and long. Posey is flanked to the near side. Herron and Hall flank Miller. And they'll whistle this one dead. And it's a timeout by the Gator defense. Didn't like something they saw in the coverage. 1:06 to go in the half. Back after this.
I'm a taxpayer.
I'm a tax slayer.
The tax software I use does simple returns, business returns, and rental properties.
Mine does too.
Mine's quick and easy.
Mine too.
I got a deduction finder.
I do too.
Well, mine's only $79.95. Why is she laughing?
TaxSlayer.com supports our active duty military by providing a free tax return.
It's game day, and nothing says I'm lazy and I just woke up like a bag of chips. Except maybe ice, which also says I'm cheap too. Ah, 7-layer dip. Someone's mom just dropped them off. And then there's the Taco 12-pack. It's the type of thing that says I'm confident, I'm original, and I've got at least 11 friends. The Taco 12-pack. 12 classic crunchy tacos boxed up and ready for game day. Now at Taco Bell.
What's this all about?
We're giving Rich the NFL experience of a goal line dive.
Really?
There's an easier way to get an ultimate NFL fan experience. Just snap the tag wherever Bud Light is sold and you could win. Bud Light in the NFL. Here we go.
Can I make it?
On the internet, yes. Into the end zone, no.
You have not assigned us a single forward mission.
We need to change the way we fight. Can you help save lives?
We count our victories by the husbands we return to their wives, by the fathers we give back to their children.
How you like that, Mr. Hitler? From the last plane, to the last bullet, to the last minute, to the last man, we fight! We fight! We fight! We fight! We fight! We fight!
Red Tails, rated PG-13.
Now for the answer to our Aflac trivia question, which was, who was the head coach of the Gators the last time they had a losing season? It was back in 1979. Charlie Pell, 0-10-1. The tie was with Georgia Tech.
Florida gets that timeout. I think at the right time. You're at 1:06 left with Ohio State driving. Got to start thinking about conserving some of this clock for your offense.
3rd and 6. Miller under pressure. What a great move by Jay Howard. That's the nose man, 6'3", 303. Did you see how quick he was?
I think Howard knew the snap count. Watch how quickly he gets off the ball. Yep, he knew it. He got a tip because he got out of his stance before Andrew Norwell, the left guard, did. And Howard, a guy, in talking to Dan Quinn, the defensive line coach and defensive coordinator, had said that he had the best bowl preparation of any of our linemen. Of course, he's having to step up with Dominique Easley. What a great get-off.
He was also being held, and that didn't make any difference either. Now Drew Basel forced back to 47 yards out. It's got a chance. And Basel from 47, which ties his longest field goal this season. So in spite of the big loss on the sack, they do come away with points.
And kind of surprised that Florida did not take a time out there. They would have gotten the ball back with just under a minute. Now they're not going to be able to do much at all.
Well, there's the kickoff return.
Good point.
Go Gators. Go Gators. Go Gators. Go Gators.
Go start a Fortune 500 company.
Go write the great American novel.
Go cure cancer.
Go to Mars.
Go Gators.
Visit GoGatorNation.com to continue the story. The University of Florida, the foundation for the Gator Nation.
Only 15 seconds to go first half. Gators on top by 4. Ohio State will kick it away. And based on the last kickoff return, do you give them a chance or do you squib it?
No. You leave this one about 2 inches off the turf the whole way down and hope a big body falls on it. But bad use of their timeouts there for Florida. Now you're 14-10. You're probably just going to take a knee. But if you were at a minute, you may try to do something on offense.
Line drive on the ground gets down to the 15-yard line, and unfortunately for them, DeBose, the same guy, picks it up. He's back to the 44-yard line. A 30-yard return on a squib kick. You got to squib it the other way. Taylor Rice made the tackle with 7 seconds left.
And because Ohio State has been running the ball so effectively, they ate up a lot of the clock there in that second quarter, and Florida's offense has had not much of a chance to get out and play on offense. And with 7 seconds left, You know, you could run an out route. Well, you can run anything you want. You got the timeout. But with 7 seconds, it's got to be quick if it's to the middle of the field. And then maybe you get one more shot. But I feel like they should have about 40 seconds left here, not 7 seconds after that sack. Not getting that timeout was not good.
Can't remember the last time I saw a team with 4 plays in a quarter. Got a timeout in a 4-point ball game.
I mean, I knew something was wrong, but I didn't know it was that serious.
In 2007, Wendell went to Ohio State for a heart transplant.
At 37 years old, you just never think that would ever occur. But my whole thing was about Isaiah. Basically, I had to be here for him. So whatever I had to do to be here for him, that's what I had to do. I'm still here for a reason.
Some timeouts. Might as well finish the half with another. Florida with 7 seconds to go has the ball at their own 44-yard line. They used their last timeout to set up this play, so they're not going to have the option of maybe a completion over the middle and be able to call timeout and go for a long field goal.
And they bring Jacoby Brissett out, the true freshman quarterback. Brantley has plenty of arm to make this throw. Not quite sure why Brissett would come out.
Delay of game by the offense. It's a 5-yard penalty, and it's still first down.
And that's at least the 3rd time that we've seen Florida's offense not really looking too smooth and just getting the play called and getting out there.
This is an ugly sequence right here.
Yeah.
And now Brissett will go back to the bench. Does Brantley come back? No, it's still Brissett. And they're running players on and off the field. And now they're going to take a knee after all that. Well, it was certainly an interesting first half. The Florida Gators run 5 plays in the entire quarter, do not get a first down, and yet they are winning 14-10 over Ohio State. Interesting, huh? Here's Janine with Luke Fickell.
Luke, it seemed like when Florida ran that kickoff return all the way back for the touchdown, it kind of was a little deflating for your guys. How do you think they affected them?
Well, I think they came back and played it pretty well. So, just some things we got to get shored up. That's the things. Just some guys out, some of our really good special teams guys that are out, and somebody else got to step up.
Now, it's very windy here today, and we've seen a couple of throws from Miller that were a little off target. How will that impact the offensive play calling in the second half?
Nothing. We're still going to be aggressive. We still got to do what we're going to do. We got to be able to throw the football.
Thanks, Luke.
All right, thanks, Janine. At the half, our score, Florida 14, Ohio State 10. Ryan Burr and company will be in the studio right after these messages.
It's the perfect time to find great deals on the 4G LTE devices you love, like the Droid Bionic by Motorola for $199.99. Or the Pantech Breakout for $49.99, our lowest price ever. Get the technology you love on the network you deserve. And for a limited time, get twice the data for the same low price. Verizon.
When it comes to home insurance, surprises can be a little scary.
And a little costly. That's why the best agents present their clients with a lot of options.
Because when it comes to what's covered and what's not, nobody likes surprises.
We totally thought you were...
Obscure space junk falling from the sky? We covered that. Moving on.
We are insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, ba, bum, 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 bum.
Hello, how can I deliver world-class service for you today?
We gave people right off the street a script and had them read it.
No, sorry, I can't help you with that.
I'm not authorized to access that transaction.
That's not in our policy.
I will transfer you now.
My supervisor is currently not available.
Would you like to hold? That department is currently closed.
Have I helped you with everything you needed?
If your bank doesn't give you knowledgeable customer service 24/7, you need an Ally. Ally Bank. No nonsense, just people sense.
Okay, who Who gets occasional constipation, diarrhea, gas, or bloating? Get ahead of it. One Phillips Colon Health probiotic cap a day helps defend against digestive issues with 3 strains of good bacteria.
Hit me.
Live the regular life. Phillips. And 2 more.
Honey, what are you doing? I thought you were getting your hair cut at Great Clips.
Already checked in. Introducing the online check-in app from Great Clips. No more waiting around, because now we'll be waiting for you. Great Clips. It's gonna be great.
Wait, check it. Oh, no, no.
Oh, come on!
Need a better battery? Get the one preferred by Autotex 5-to-1 over any other. Interstate Batteries. Outrageously dependable.
TaxSlayer.com Gator Bowl 14-10 at the break. Braxton Miller hooking up with DeVere Posey for Ohio State's only touchdown at the half. We got a good one going, 14-10 at the break. With a Chick-fil-A Bowl win over Virginia, Gene Chizik now 9-0 all-time in bowl games, both as an assistant and as a head coach, dating all the way back to his time as a graduate assistant as Clemson. And welcome into the halftime report. We welcome in the head coach of the Auburn Tigers, Gene Chizik, along with my Hall of Famers Mark May and Lou Holtz. I'm Ryan Burr, and Coach, a good first half there, Florida and Ohio State. The kick return, obviously, the difference.
No question about it. You know, these teams are so evenly matched, and they've got a lot of the same things going on dynamically within their teams. They got to play really good defense. They got to stop the run. Ohio State's hit 1 pass for a touchdown. Florida has a big kickoff return. It's going to be a good one.
And John Brantley, the Florida quarterback, he's been about as sharp in this game as we've seen the entire season long. He's 10 for 12 for 92 yards, hasn't turned the ball over, has the touchdown pass, but they're getting the ball to Chris Rainey, one of the fastest guys down the field, running and receiving.
Well, if Ohio State loses this game, it'll be the first time they've lost 7 games since 1897. If Florida loses this game, it'll be the first time they've lost 7 games since, I think, 1987.
And Braxton Miller struggling to throw the football. That will be a big part of the second half. Florida defense stacking up against that Ohio State run. Let's get to the highlights here on this January 2nd. Some great bowl action over on ESPNU, the Ticket City Bowl. That's Houston and Penn State. And what a career it has been for Case Keenum, and what a way to go out as he is putting up some numbers against that Penn State secondary.
And he's very accurate with the football, but a lot of people question his arm strength, and they shouldn't, because he can throw the ball vertically and he can hit the out. He does everything extremely well at the quarterback position. He's got a bright future.
That touchdown makes it 17-zip, and Coach Holtz, Penn State dealing with so much in the last couple months, kind of a no-show today.
Well, they're dealing with Houston, and they aren't ready to do that. Houston's upset. Remember this, they think they should have been the BCS, except they got upset by Southern Miss in the championship game, and Penn State's paying the price for it.
All Cougars over on ESPNU 27-7. Over on ESPN, it is Nebraska and South Carolina. Capital One Bowl, Steve Spurrier, Bo Pelini pick it up in the first quarter. Coach Chizik and Taylor Martinez throwing the football.
Coach, what would you tell your defensive backs if this happened to you just before halftime?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'd be upset. I can tell you that. It would be it'd be tough. But you know what? The bottom line is they got to get Alshon Jeffries under control.
And this is a blocked extra point that gets returned by Stephen Gilmore. South Carolina makes it 6-2. Coach Holtz, you're the baseball guy. 6-2 score.
Well, not only that, it got to be 13-9. There wasn't a field goal kicked. That was what's really amazing. They did not have a field goal, but here Nebraska comes back here to take the lead. They make it 13-9. Nebraska was going in, fumbled the ball inside the 10-yard line, going in again, throw an interception, and here's the Hail Mary. Last play of the half.
You can see the time. No time left. 51 yards. Connor Shaw to Alshon Jeffrey. Coach Chizik, you got to knock it down, right?
Got to knock it down. What an unbelievable effort by him at the end to stretch that ball over the goal line.
South Carolina by 3. Once again, that's over on ESPN. This game on ABC, the Outback Bowl. Georgia taking on Michigan State. You know a thing or two about Aaron Murray.
Unbelievable. Again, he's one of the best vertical passing game guys in the country. There's no question he's got a lot of weapons to go to.
And Georgia red hot to finish the season. Coach Holtz, their special teams has always been effective.
Well, Georgia was always the best punt return team in the country, year in and year out. Last couple of years, that not so much, but boy, they're coming back here. Notice the blocking they get the convoy there. Now it's all over.
SEC flexing their muscles a little bit, Coach Chizik.
Well, the bottom line is it's a great league. There's other great competition out there, but we're certainly right now playing pretty well.
Absolutely. The power of Wisconsin, the speed of Oregon, the Rose Bowl. We head to Pasadena next.
This halftime report is brought to you by Visit Jacksonville. Go to www.visitjacksonville.com to plan your next Florida vacation.
The granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl. Pac-12 winner Oregon, Big Ten winner Wisconsin. Your classic speed versus power matchup. Both teams believe they can beat anyone in America. Only one will be crowned Rose Bowl champion. Chris Fowler anchors our coverage from Pasadena.
Pasadena standards, this is a January scorcher. Temperatures in the low 80s, which will make the challenge even tougher for the two defenses of Wisconsin and Oregon as they square off in what's supposed to be on paper the second highest scoring Rose Bowl matchup after that Texas and USC Classic. Both offenses achieve amazing productivity in very different ways. Oregon wants to spread you out, make you miss, and wear you down with their tempo. The Badgers want to punish you and wear you down with perfect offensive balance.
Chip prides himself on, snapping as many plays in the world of college football as possible. We have to learn to play, obviously, on defense with that tempo.
They're so balanced. They can beat you through the air. They can beat you on the ground. They can beat you with play-action pass. It's a real tough scheme to defend because they make you defend everything.
Throughout the game, we get stronger. Come fourth quarter, we're stronger than we were in the first quarter, and we just make bigger plays in the fourth quarter at that time.
Their offense is more of a line them up, we're coming downhill. We're more of a, we're going to try to out-leverage you and outrun you.
They try to, out-perimeter you on a lot of plays. Just one-on-one, if they can make you miss, they can turn a 5-yard gain into a 50-yard gain.
The production incredible. Look at the goal-to-go touchdown percentage. Both offenses almost unstoppable when they get close to the goal line. It should be an even 90 points scored if you go by their average points per game. Of course, both defenses are hungry and they're motivated by all this kind of talk. Desmond and Kirk alongside. What's the key to the game?
I think the key for Wisconsin comes down to their quarterback, Russell Wilson. Can he improvise when things break down? Now, you look at Oregon's defense. They're a very fast-flowing defense, like to get a lot of hats to the ball, but they're not very physical. So they're going to put 8 men in the box to try to create some pressure and stop Monty Ball in that running game. Now, if Russell Wilson's able to break, contain, extend plays with his legs, and then improvise, I think that's going to go a long way in helping the Badgers beat the Ducks, Kurt.
Yeah, his ability to create is going to have to be big for Wisconsin. I think the other thing is the conditions. I mean, the heat, we could talk about it, kid about it. It's going to become a reality in the second half. Oregon loves to challenge people in their conditioning with their tempo. We've talked about it for a month now. Wisconsin's done everything that they can for the last 3 or 4 weeks to try to prepare themselves for that. It's one thing to try to prepare for it. It's another thing to have to deal with it and then deal with 80-degree temperatures along the way. That will be a challenge for the Badgers.
It's been hot out here, but it's always different in a game. You can run 2 scout team offenses, which everybody does getting ready for Oregon. Yep. Not quite the same as Thomas and James and DeAnthony Thomas. How will it unfold? Will it be a scoring fest or will the defenses rise up? 5 o'clock Eastern time coverage begins at 4:30. The Rose Bowl game presented by Vizio.
When we return, a quick look ahead to tonight's Tostitos Fiesta Bowl and 2 high-flying offenses, Stanford and Oklahoma State. It's all coming up next.
Would you like her to rephrase the question?
I'm not going to be the person I'm expected to be anymore.
Bien expected. Bleu de Chanel.
At Chanel.com.
As my world turns, the heart beats, not only in my chest, but the heart in the street. So when they feel this, they feel me, but I can't feel nothing outside these great beats. I am from the city of people, came from the bottom, standing on...
Yo, I'm on my way.
Experience your sound like never before. The HTC Resound with Beats Audio built in on the Verizon 4G.
Attention those on Medicare with diabetes. You may be eligible for an upgraded meter.
If you're tired of stabbing your fingertips to test your blood glucose, we have news that could change your life. If you're on Medicare with diabetes, then you need to know there's an alternative method for checking your blood glucose every day. You don't need to stab your fingertips anymore. The Embrace meter from Diabetes Care Club is easier to use and nearly painless. And the best news is that Diabetes Care Club would love to send you one of these meters. This method hurts less, and because you can see and hear your results, it may be easier to understand.
Your blood glucose reading is 89.
Call now to find out why. Nearly 250,000 patients have joined Diabetes Care Club. Membership is free, so is the call.
Call 1-800-933-5853.
Talk to Diabetes Care Club.
You bid, you score.
Some news from the NFL, a pair of head coach firings as we begin Black Monday. Rams part way with Steve Spagnuolo, 10-38, the worst record in the league since he took over in 2009. And Raheem Morris out with Tampa Bay. The Bucs finished the season with 10 consecutive losses. 4 BCS Bowl games left on the schedule. May Day beginning tonight with the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Number 4, Stanford. Number 3, Oklahoma State.
2 terrific quarterbacks. Both of these quarterbacks, Andrew Luck and Brandon Weeden, are completing over 70% of their passes on the season.
Mark, tomorrow at 8:30, it's the All-State Sugar Bowl. Michigan, first BCS appearance in a long time.
Virginia Tech better ring their A game on defense. They've had problems with mobile quarterbacks. Denard Robinson for Michigan is one of the best at running and throwing the football.
And Coach Lou on Wednesday, the Discover Orange Bowl, 8:30 on ESPN. ACC champ Clemson, first ever appearance in a BCS bowl game as they take on West Virginia.
Well, West Virginia will be the last game representing the Big East as they go in the Big 12. Clemson's a hot and cold team, should be interesting.
That game could be a shootout for sure. And, of course, January 9th, the big one, the All-State BCS National Title Game. Coach, rematch between number 1 LSU, number 2 Alabama.
Oh, I think that this will be an absolutely outstanding game. It will be an ugly game, but if you love hard-hitting defense, it'll be great. I think there'll be much more scoring, like 24-21.
And let's touch on tonight's Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. And Coach Chiswick, I'll start with you. Oklahoma State comes into this thing, and they really believe in their heart that they should be playing LSU for the national title. Instead, they get the Fiesta Bowl against Stanford. Do you think they'll fully be invested in the game?
I don't think there's any question, Ryan. You know, I can go back to 2004 when we were at Auburn, and we really felt like we should have been playing in the national championship game. And we didn't. We didn't get that shot. There's no question in my mind Mike Gundy will have this team ready to play. You know, everybody's going to be talking about offense. You know, just kind of like the national championship game last year was all about offense, all about offense. Don't forget that Oklahoma State's defense has turned that ball over or taken the ball away over 40 times this year, and it's going to get interesting.
Well, I like Oklahoma State's offense because you see the potential that's there and you see what they've been able to do the entire season, putting points on the board. Brandon Weeden, the quarterback you've heard of, and 2-time Biletnikoff winner Justin Blackman at the wide receiver position. But here's a player that really makes it go. How about Joseph Randall, the running back? Under 1,200 yards rushing this season, but a 6.0 average per carry. But not only that, the 23 rushing touchdowns is most impressive to me, and he really carries this offense. When they've got problems and they struggle on offense, they just hand the ball to Joseph Randall.
Yeah, but I tell you what, Stanford's got some weapons also. If you do nothing else but talk about Andrew Luck. Here's a quarterback who's been the runner-up for the Heisman the last 2 years. He's only thrown 1 interception this entire year inside the red zone. He's just a tremendous athlete, 35 touchdowns. You can't do better than that, but here's the biggest thing about it. All his tight ends are coming back. He does not have speed at wide receiver. That's always going to be a problem. But he did have 4 good tight ends. 3 of them were injured most of the year. They'll all be back healthy for the game.
It's a great BCS game. Last chance to see Andrew Luck play for Stanford. And let's not forget about Justin Blackman. 35 touchdowns for Oklahoma State the last 2 years. It will be fun. Back out to the Gator Bowl after this timeout.
When it comes to home insurance, surprises can be a little scary.
And a little costly. That's why the best agents present their clients with a lot of options.
Because when it comes to what's covered and what's not, nobody likes surprises.
We totally thought you were.
Obscure space junk falling from the sky? We covered that. Moving on.
We are insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, ba, bum, 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 bum.
The play went down. It's in pieces. Nobody's going to find us. Not here. We figure out what way is south, and we start walking.
What was that?
I thought wolves were scared of people.
They're not scared of anything. You'll free fall about 30 feet, but it's going to feel like 30,000. Go!
The Gray. Rated R. Starts January 27th.
You haven't seen anything like Pizza Hut's new Big Dinner Box. 2 medium 1-topping pizzas, 8 intense wings, and 5 freshly baked breadsticks. Order the new Big Dinner Box today and call dinner done. Only $19.99, only at your Pizza Hut.
So how do we feel?
Like we're finally ready for that trip to Spain. Eh, muchacho? Yeah.
Get in, get confident. Supercuts every time.
Good morning, Dave. Good morning, Dave. Right. Dave? Hey, Dave. Hey. Hey, Dave. Mr. Dave. Dave? What's up, Dave? 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 Hi, Dave. Oh, Dave's looking for you. Hey, Dave. Yo, Dave!
In a small business, it's all you. That's why you have us. At Staples, we have low prices on everything your small business needs. Staples, that was easy.
You're watching ESPN's presentation of Capital One Bowl Week.
Welcome back to the TaxSlayer.com Gator Bowl, and it's 14-10 at the half. And welcome back to Jacksonville, Florida on a beautiful afternoon for college football. Ed Cunningham, what do you think the kind of adjustments that you're looking for each ball club?
I think for Ohio State, go back to the run. Braxton Miller having a little trouble with his accuracy. Dan Herron's averaging 7.5 yards per carry. Why not just keep riding that horse? And then for Florida, I don't think you want to call too many drop-back passes. That offensive line that came in thin, had some guys moved around, looked awfully shaky in the 5- and 7-step drop game, which I know is Brantley's bread and butter, but I'm not so sure I'd dial too many of those up in the second half.
He got pounded early, and protection got a little better as the game wore on. Ohio State will get it first. Sturgis to kick. Jordan Hall on the bounce from the 3. Nowhere to go, penned in at the sideline and knocked out inside the 20-yard line. Here's our TaxSlayer.com game track. The Gators with a 14-10 lead. Big play in the game. DuBose goes 99 yards on a kickoff return, untouched, setting a Gator Bowl record and giving Florida the lead.
And between those 3 running backs that we've seen going in and out for Ohio State, they're averaging 6.5 yards per carry against a pretty good front for Florida. So let's see how much they pound it. Looks like they're going to start out with the I formation.
Got Herron with Boren, powerful blocker in front of him. And Herron will get the call. Flag is down.
Flag on the play. Dan Herron on the carry.
Think somebody got a face mask. May have been Omar Hunter.
Personal foul, grabbing the face mask on the defense. It's a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
Well, we've talked about Florida. There it is as he reaches out and pulls that head over to the side. But Florida, we were earlier talking about they were the least successful at causing turnovers in the SEC, and they also had some big penalty problems on defense. Some personal fouls. They had a couple of them against Florida State. That one just an unfortunate for Hunter. Reaching out trying to grab some cloth. Instead he got some steel.
Overall, it has been an outstanding defense in spite of the lack of turnovers. They give up less than 300 yards a game. Miller throws to the blocking back, Boren, who caught only 5 passes all year long. That's the kind of thing you'll see in bowl games when guys have a chance to work on additional things.
And Boren, a young man, when we were talking to the Ohio State coaches, does so much for this offense. Just a junior, And they'll find a spot for this guy in that spread offense. You know, the one thing I think Urban Meyer has always done when he gets to a new place is figure out, if I've got some good players, I'll use them. Not just a blocker. He can move in space.
Second down and about 2. Ohio State in its initial second half possession. Herron. First down just crosses midfield. Let's go to the sideline and Janine Edwards.
Well, Mike, you guys were just talking about Ohio State and the juniors, and earlier you had mentioned the fact that with the NCAA sanctions that were handed down on December 20th, they will not have a bowl game next year. There are 28 juniors and seniors on the Ohio State 2 deep for today's game. 28 guys playing in their last bowl game. And I spoke to a couple of the juniors before the game, and they said, you know what, we're just focused on today, but mostly this win takes on even more importance if we can get it, because there won't be a next year.
It's a great point, Janine, and it had to be very disappointing for them knowing they're not going to have that extra opportunity. Herron again chased, and there's another flag down as Herron is dropped by Sharif Floyd. He's listed as a defensive end, but they play him inside an awful lot. Preliminary signals a hold.
Holding, number 50 of the offense. It's a 10-yard penalty, and it's still first down.
And that's the veteran center, Mike Brewster.
Well, there's an old saying amongst us offensive linemen, it's only holding when they call it. And because he starts to fall and pulls down on Jay Howard, got his legs caught up. If he would have let go, they would not have called that holding, but decided to hold on to maybe break his fall and got caught.
Joe Bugle taught you well. Miller underneath Hall. Outside of that one scoring strike that Miller threw, about the only effective things that they've done has been in the swing and screen area.
And that's one thing with a young quarterback. Just give him some confidence. His accuracy is going to need some work. We've seen him overthrow. He had some overthrows against Michigan, but you get those easy throws, get him in a rhythm.
It's out in the flat to Posey for a short gain. Back near the original line of scrimmage.
And in one thing, in fairness to Braxton Miller, is when you have a guy like DeVere Posey who was out the first 10 ball games for 2 different suspensions, first for trading his memorabilia for tattoos and then for a summer job where he didn't do enough work for his pay, it's the timing. And Posey, the best receiver, comes back with 2 games to go. So Miller just now starting to get used to having Posey running routes.
Sure. Third and long. Miller under pressure, and they got him again. Back at the 44-yard line. Josh Evans, one of the safeties.
Well, this one by Dan Quinn, the defensive coordinator. Watch 1, 2, 3, 4 against 3 blockers up front. They outnumbered that side. And the back on that side came over. That was actually a mental error by the right side of the offensive line. With the back on that side, they should have had enough to pick it up. But I think there was confusion on that offensive front for Ohio State.
That is the 5th Florida sack, and the Gators come after it, and they get it. Block kick, and the Florida Gators are going to score. Chris Rainey got the block. It's a 15-yard touchdown return. The second huge special teams play. Graham Stewart gets the touchdown. Number 55 scooped it up and went for 6 after Rainey used his speed to get the block. Special teams has lifted the Gators and killed Ohio State so far. Six career blocks for Rainey.
Meet Dale Jr., NASCAR owner and driver of the Tax Slayer car. In this business, you make it or break it by 2 words. Fast and efficient.
That's why when tax season rolls around, Dale and his crew turn to TaxSlayer.com to file their taxes the fastest and most efficient way possible.
TaxSlayer's quick, and it's easy, and it costs $9.95. It's even powerful enough to handle my return.
Do what the guys who know a little bit about speed and efficiency do. Log on to TaxSlayer.com.
File your taxes fast with TaxSlayer.com.
Would you like her to rephrase the question?
I'm not going to be the person I'm expected to be anymore.
Bien expected. Bleu de Chanel.
At Chanel.com.
When do you take 5-hour energy?
When I'm on the night shift.
When they have more energy than I do.
When I don't feel like working out.
When there isn't enough of me to go around.
When I have school. And work.
Every morning. It's faster and easier than coffee.
Every afternoon. When that 2:30 feeling hits. Every day.
Every day. Every day is a 5-hour energy day.
5-hour energy. Every day.
The NCAA and DonorsChoose.org are working together to put academic and athletic supplies back into our schools. And you can join the NCAA in supporting the needs of teachers' projects. From athletics to academics, find out how you can help future student athletes at ncaa.org/fundthefuture.
A new class of budding stars, headlined by Mario Edwards and Eddie Goldman. Follow in the footsteps of former greats Julio Jones and A.J. Green. The 2012 Under Armour High School All-America Game, Thursday at 7:30 on ESPN.
College football in high definition is presented by Vizio.
21-10 Gators on the strength of special teams.
Well, and Rainey, you mentioned the 6 career blocks. He's got world-class speed. Here he is right here. But watch as he gets to the second line. Another error by Ohio State. You can see 2 guys are blocking one. Boren should have the man coming there, and that's the freshman Jeff Hireman, who should have bounced out and picked up Rainey. And so you've got 2 blocking one. Nobody blocks number 1, and he comes in and takes it right off the foot of the punter.
If Rainey doesn't block it, Patton does, coming from the other side in the same technique. 2 guys putting pressure on the outside blocker. That was very well designed.
Well, I know who's the faster of the 2.
Rainey and Demps are faster than anybody. Hall, a couple of yards deep. Runs into a man, bounces off. The guy he ran into was Patton, who was involved in that punt block. So the Gators, 1 touchdown drive that went 80 yards. Very impressive, 14 plays, but they score on a kick return and they score on a blocked punt. Their offense, since the time of that outstanding first drive, has produced 13 yards, while special teams has produced 14 points.
Kind of the flip of that last game against Florida State, where their defense held the Seminoles to 95 yards, and they ended up losing 21-7 because of turnovers. This one flopped on its head because of special teams.
Now Ohio State down a couple of scores. Rarely is it going to change their character, however. They're going to play with the strengths that they have on offense, which is the power game. Interesting thing about Miller, he's been sacked a half a dozen times in this game. Sometimes good running quarterbacks are not good getting away from pressure.
He does like to stay in the pocket a lot, and I think, with his speed, something they can work on is, hey, when it breaks down, get out of the way of all those bodies, because watch how often Braxton Miller stays in the pocket. There, he's in the middle, steps up, and you can't be mad about that. This one, he got outside of it, but the coverage was excellent. And this one was an option where Bostic read it perfectly, but look at all of those bodies flying around. And this, although not a deep defensive line with the loss of Dominique Easley for Florida, very active so far in this one.
And the Gators have done an outstanding job staying in their lanes. and not letting Miller have big seams to run through. Goes out to Herron in the flat. Herron trying to make a cut. Went down under William Green and lost his footing. The Jaguars and the Colts played here yesterday. A lot of people slipping and sliding on this turf, which got pretty well chewed up. Hasn't been much of a factor yet today until that play.
And Herron is wearing the molded cleats. Remember, we saw earlier when Janine showed that the Florida players were mostly going to be wearing the harder screw ends. That time you saw Herron slip. He's got the molded, which aren't quite as firm as the screw ends.
2nd and 11. Miller goes to the shotgun. Florida comes with a blitz. It's a quarterback draw. Great call against the run. And pushed out of bounds at midfield. Posey got him a block on the outside. Great call against 6-man pressure.
Well, the Florida calls a wonderful corner blitz. However, bad technique as the corner, Jalen Watkins, comes in, just completely whiffs on the quarterback. And, you know, a guy who at 6'3", 210 is probably a little more slippery than the guys in blue think.
First down for the Buckeyes at the 45-yard line. Miller out of the pocket with plenty of time. Now he's being chased and throws it away. In his first season as head coach, Brady Hoke has led Denard Robinson and number 13 Michigan to a BCS Bowl. Tomorrow night, the Wolverines against David Wilson and number 11 Virginia Tech in the All-State Sugar Bowl. Catch it on ESPN, ESPN Radio, ESPN3, also streaming live on WatchESPN.com and the Watch ESPN app tomorrow night.
Well, we've been talking about the NCAA sanctions against Ohio State. That Michigan game will be their bowl game next year. And with Denard Robinson back, it may have conference championship implications.
Short gain here on 2nd and 10.
And I think if I'm Urban Meyer, I may give a call out to USC and see how they're handling and how they handled this season, where they ended up 10-2. They couldn't play for anything. However, they won the Pac-12 South, did the Trojans. And how did they keep them focused and fighting through the whole year when you don't have anything really to play for at the end of the season? Because USC did it very well this year.
Well, I think they're going to be fine in the long term because Pat Hayden is one of the most special people around. He will get it done as the athletic director. They'll whistle this one dead.
And a false start by number 76 of the offense. It's a 5-yard penalty, and it's still 3rd down.
That's 2 on Schugertz, the senior tackle.
And this, if you're Florida, this is that time where Ohio State has been very conservative with screens and quarterback draws from this down and distance. So you want your safeties to make sure they're playing their responsibilities deep, but your linebackers, your nickel backs, the guys you brought in for coverage, be aware.
Right now you want to think be under control because they have rarely gone downfield. They show blitz and they come with it. Miller got away initially from the bump by Matt Elam, who came on the blitz from his safety spot. He was lined up outside the left end. He got Miller in the legs. At least he slowed him down, and then he was easy game.
Here's Elam out here, walking around, coming a little late. He actually shows it. You typically want your safeties, if they're coming on a blitz, actually playing a nickel position there to hold back just a little bit. But Elam is a very special player, a guy just a sophomore that this coaching staff says is a rare talent. He can play up around the line of scrimmage. He can cover in space. And there you see obviously a talented blitzer.
Boy, Buchanan barely got that one out. 6 sacks by the Florida defense this afternoon. Been a big factor. 51-yard kick there. 7:13 to go, 3rd quarter. The Gators 21-10 over the Buckeyes.
Come discover a place where a storied past mingles playfully with an unforgettable present. Where possibility and surprise hide among stretches of shimmering waters and enchanted beaches. A place where infinite wishes are granted by sun-filled days. and romance is illuminated beneath evening skies. Come discover Amelia Island, Florida.
The world's most irresistible burrito with crunchy flamin' hot Fritos chips, premium seasoned beef, and nacho cheese sauce is back. And one is it's Taco Bell's 99-cent Beefy Crunch Burrito.
I was having trouble getting out of bed in the morning because my back hurt so bad.
The Sleep Number bed conforms to you. Wake up in the morning with no back pain.
Do you toss and turn, wake up with back pain? If so, call us now. You'll learn how the Sleep Number bed helps relieve back pain by allowing you to adjust the firmness and support to conform to your body for a more proper spinal alignment. Just look at this research. 93% of participants experienced back pain relief. Plus, it's a great value because it costs about the same as an innerspring, yet lasts twice as long. So if you want to sleep better or find relief for your bad back, call now.
Call 1-800-253-6902 for your free information kit with DVD, brochure, and price list. Call 1-800-253-6902 and we'll include a free $50 savings card. That's 1-800-253-6902 for your free information and this free $50 savings card. Call now.
You score.
I'm stepping down as a head football coach at the University of Florida to focus on family.
The Florida Gators send Urban Meyer out after 6 wonderful years in Gainesville.
Ohio-born, bred, and educated, Urban Meyer will be the new head football coach at Ohio State next fall.
This is my home state, and it's great to be back home.
Urban Meyer, the thread connecting these two teams, and we will talk about him shortly. Not only his departure from Florida, but his future in Columbus. Florida takes over inside the 10-yard line, and they'll run it with Jeff Demps. Urban Meyer, of course, after he left Florida, worked for ESPN as an analyst for a year. The word he used when he talked about going back to Ohio State was home. And the draw of going home was so powerful.
You know, I spoke to Urban yesterday, and I mentioned, you know, some Florida fans obviously a little upset that he came back a year later. But he said, you know, this is a job. This is where I started my career. He started as a graduate assistant at Ohio State under Earl Bruce. It is my home. If it wasn't Ohio State, I would not be coaching this year. And, you know, he said, I understand it, but the truth is this is a special place to me. And I asked him, I said, okay, you say I'm not going to coach. I wouldn't be coaching if it weren't for Ohio State. Would you coach again? He said, absolutely. After the time away, they found out his health problem wasn't as bad as they thought it was. Now that he's healthy, he said, you know, I'm 47 years old. I have to coach. It's what I want to do, and I just needed to get away. I was burnt out.
But they found out the health problem wasn't as bad after it scared him to death.
He spent the night in the hospital thinking he had a major heart problem in 2009. And turned out just to be esophageal spasms, and they've got it solved, and back in the game he goes.
Trey Burton in for the Wildcat. And the big quarterback rumbles to the 37-yard line. He has passed only 6 times this year, but completed 4 of them. He's rushed for over 100 yards. He's caught 19 balls. He is a very versatile player, 6'2", 229 pounds. Out of Venice, Florida.
And I think for Florida, what they need to hang their hat on is they've got a good coach now in Will Muschamp. If you spent any time around Muschamp, you know that they've hired the right guy to take this program to the next level again.
Great cut by Rainey. Stronger than his size would indicate, and he's trying to use his speed to get to the sideline.
And in fairness to Will Muschamp and his staff, they've been dealing with a shorthanded roster. This guy obviously has a defensive background. He wants an NFL defense and an NFL offense, and he sells that to recruits. But right now in this game, they are playing with less than 60 healthy scholarship players.
It's amazing.
You always have attrition when you have a coach turnover. But let's not forget, at the end for Urban Meyer, that was a 7-5 team that struggled offensively. Now they're in a transition. But I've seen Will Muschamp year in, year out. This is the right guy for this job at this time. I'm convinced of it.
Brantley too high for Rainey. Will Muschamp, for those of you who haven't really followed his career all that much, was the coach in waiting at Texas under Mack Brown. Well, Mack Brown, and there's nothing wrong with this, Mack didn't want to go. Mack still wants to coach. I don't blame him. He is a wonderful coach, but you've got Will Muschamp, who is the coach in waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. So he had a great opportunity there. Sometime in the future, he had a great opportunity to come to Gainesville now, and he took it. And nobody could blame him for that. This one is tipped and intercepted. Picked off by Tyler Moeller on the tip drill, and just the break that Ohio State needed off the hand of the tight end A.C. Leonard.
And not a real accurate throw by John Brantley. A.C. Leonard had walked away from the line of scrimmage, ran an outcut. That ball thrown hard and high, and Leonard tips it up in the air for the big turnover for Ohio State.
Boy, that was way off. Yeah. He had no chance to catch it. Can the Buckeyes take advantage of this break? They need it. They're down 11 and haven't moved it very well. Hyde. Let's go to Janine Edwards.
Well, Mike and Ed, that is just the exact type of physicality that linebackers coach Mike Vrabel has wanted to see from his defense all day. And I can tell you that he gave them a speech and a half before they took to the field for that series. He said, guys, I am not going to let you embarrass this team. Those were his words. You are not going to send us home like a bunch of, and he used a word I can't repeat on the air, but he basically said, get your play right, get your heads in the game. He was livid.
Janine, he was one of my favorite players in college, one of my favorite players in the pros. He was just somebody, if he gets guys to play like he did, 100% every play, he's going to be extremely successful.
And he's a guy that Urban Meyer will retain in his same position. And because Vrabel did not have a whole lot of coaching experience, Urban did a little background check and actually called Bill Belichick of the New England Patriots to see what type of guy he was and if he thought he could be a good coach, and all reports came back strong. And that's one thing Urban Meyer's done at every single stop. Kept Tim Beckman at Bowling Green, kept Kyle Whittingham at Utah, and kept Charlie Strong at Florida, now keeping most of his defensive staff intact from the Ohio State team here.
Of course, he's going to keep Luke Fickell as the co-offensive or the co-defensive coordinator. Posey lost it after he caught it. The Gators have it. Now they lost it, and Florida finally gets it back. Josh Evans. Holy cow, what a play. Everybody had a shot at it. That was a good throw by Miller, and Posey just lost it.
Second perfectly thrown and timed slant to Posey, and Posey just couldn't put it away and lock it in.
Looked like Purifoy was the guy who knocked it away. Luchez Purifoy just reached in, and then it's up for grabs. Another exchange of turnovers at the Gator Bowl.
Dear NFL football, do you know what love is? Love is turning your pickup truck into a pirate ship. Love is cold Bud Light on a crisp afternoon. It's turning a parking space into a party space. Love is loving that every Sunday is our Sunday.
Bud Light, proud to be the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
Because love is a beautiful thing.
This new AT&T 4G LTE is fast.
Did you hear Sam got promoted to director?
So 12 seconds ago.
We should get him a present.
Thanks for the gift basket.
You're welcome.
You see HR just sent out new
Office rules? Because you're currently in violation of 6 of them.
Oh, yeah, baby?
And 7.
You guys hear that Fred's leaving?
So 30 seconds ago.
We'll miss you. Oh, face cake. Some leftover cake.
The new HTC Vivid. Stay a step ahead with AT&T 4G LTE with speeds up to 10 times faster than 3G.
Hi, just wanted to let you know that military personnel can pre-board at the gate.
And our uniformed military personnel to board at this time.
To those who put our country first, we're honored to do the same for you.
Everything you love about Geico. Now mobile. Download the new Geico app today.
What a big-time shot.
ESPN College Football, the TaxSlayer.com Gator Bowl is brought to you by AT&T. Get it faster with 4G. Rethink possible. Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. And Amelia Island. Come, make memories.
Tim Tebow was from the Jacksonville area, had a great career at Florida. Now, of course, playing for the Denver Broncos. And I think a perfect example of somebody who is saying to the world, I have a dream and nobody's going to steal it from me. I at least have a shot at this. Brantley, wide open. Complete inside the 30-yard line on a perfect throw. And it was the third-string tight end, Omarius Hines, for 31 yards.
And let's go back to that fumble. And I don't want to take away anything from Purifoy, but this should not be a fumble. He's reaching to make the tackle. He wasn't even going to rake the ball out. But you hear that term, high and tight. That ball was being carried low and loose.
Low and loose. Gators already in scoring territory. To the outside, Rainey. Ohio State's done a pretty good job on him today. Travis Howard makes the stop. And you look at the scoreboard, it's 21-10, but the Ohio State defense has only given up 7 of those.
Kickoff return for 99 yards. Block punt return for a touchdown. And if you're around this game long enough, you hear all of the coaching cliches.
That's on Deontay Thompson, the wide receiver. That'll cost him 10 yards.
And you can kind of rattle off the cliches. Establish the run, stop the run. Special teams are going to play a key role in this game. And, you know, they're cliches because they're true.
Yeah, they're cliches for a reason. Football, at its very basic thing, is running and stopping the run. That's it. And you hear coach after coach after coach say it. There are some guys who just throw caution to the wind and it's all passing. But basically, that's the way you win. That's the way you lose. Rainey.
Well, and that is why. And the challenge for Will Muschamp, I think, because he's trying to go to a more standard offense, and an offense that, if you look year in and year out in the league that he's in the SEC, has proven for teams like Alabama and LSU to work very well. But that's a huge transition from the type of offense that was run before he got there. And of course, they won 2 national championships with it, with the Wildcat.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, you can't really argue that success.
Rainey again, nice cut. Inside the 20. Wednesday, the Orange Bowl with Taj Boyd, number 15, Clemson taking on West Virginia, Geno Smith. The Discover Orange Bowl on ESPN, ESPN Radio, ESPN3, as well as streaming live on WatchESPN.com and the Watch ESPN app. Wednesday coverage begins at 8 Eastern. And Chaz Green is the injured Gator.
And this offensive line already thin, already moving guys around, including taking a guard, Nick Alajazian, and putting him over a tackle. And now with Chaz Green, who is was playing some right tackle, was playing left tackle, had to move over to right when Matt Patchen went out during bowl preparation. So now I would assume we're going to see Alajazian and Xavier Nixon manning the 2 tackle spots.
Gators today, no, not terribly impressive. The second drive that went 14 plays and 80 yards resulted in their only touchdown, and special teams has given them the other special teams has given them the block punt and the 99-yard kickoff return. This is the kickoff return blocked so well that nobody came close to laying a hand on DeBose. And then the punt block that resulted in the touchdown
Graham Stewart gets that touchdown. And I mistakenly said that Xavier Nixon would come in, but remember, he was hurt earlier. I don't believe he's been back in the ball game. So this for the Gator offensive staff and Frank Verducci, their offensive line coach, becoming pull out of a hat. Now you're up 21-10. Things have been going your way. I would be very, very conservative here if I were Florida. I hate to say this, but a field goal puts you up 2 touchdowns. You'd have to feel pretty good about that heading into the fourth quarter here.
And right now they are well within range for Caleb Sturgis. And it looks like 5 50-yard field goals or better in his career.
And now you have another guard, Kyle Coney, having to play tackle. So this feels like a draw or even a run to me.
Demps is the new tailback. Demps on the draw. Nice call. Demps first down to the 10. Well, I knew it. You knew it. They didn't know it.
A good call by Brian White, the interim offensive coordinator, taking over. And there you see Coney, the right tackle, coming in, getting a block on Ryan Shazier. But it is so difficult. Guard and tackle are such different positions. Inside at guard, you're so much closer to the guy you're blocking. Out at tackle, you always hear your tackles need to be better athletes. It's because you have so much more space that you have to stay in position on your guy. It's not as immediate.
Burton in the Wildcat. Gives off to Demps. Demps will pick up 2, maybe 3. They cannot get a first down. The starting spot was just inside the 10-yard line.
You know, this is where, with a guy like Trey Burton, you can do so many different things. And you had mentioned earlier, he hasn't thrown it much. So maybe this is a chance, even though Brantley's in there, if you go to a Wildcat, maybe they could pull out, dust off the old jump pass that they used to use with number 15.
Demps to the left of the quarterback. Rainey to the right. Read option, Rainey. Inside the 5. That'll be the last play of the third quarter here at the TaxSlayer.com Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, Florida. The Gators in control and driving for more.
Looks like he wants some gas. How's it going, gentlemen?
What's up, man?
Gas prices keep going up.
Crazy, man.
And seeing how I saved hundreds on car insurance with Progressive, this takes on me.
Hey, we getting a whole free tank of gas.
The dude from the Progressive commercial, man, he just filled up our tank for us.
Appreciate it. Take care. Free tank of gas.
Man, switch to Progressive, dog. They doing a lot of good out here, man.
Tell them the messenger sent you.
The world's airports land a plane every second. But over the next 20 years, air traffic is expected to double. The systems that track, manage, and connect these flights weren't built to handle all that data. IBM's working with Boeing on a next-generation system to help integrate global air traffic more efficiently and in real time. Making another of the world's most critical systems smarter. That's what I'm working on. I'm an IBM. Let's build a smarter planet.
How could a luminous protein in jellyfish impact life expectancy in the U.S., real estate in Hong Kong, and the optics industry in Germany? At T. Rowe Price, we understand the connections of a complex global economy. It's just one reason over 75% of our mutual funds beat their 10-year Lipper average. T. Rowe Price. Invest with confidence. Request a prospectus or summary prospectus with investment information, risks, fees, and expenses to read and consider carefully before investing.
This gray blending took off about 10 years in just 10 minutes. So how do you feel?
Dude.
Dude.
Get in, get confident.
Dude.
Supercuts every time.
A new class of budding stars, headlined by Mario Edwards and Eddie Goldman. Follow in the footsteps of former greats Julio Jones and A.J. Green. The 2012 Under Armour High School All-America game, Thursday at 7:30.
Trouble sleeping?
Do you wear a mask for your CPAP machine?
Stop using that old leaky mask. Get a new one now.
CPAP Care Club now offers replacement masks, filters, and tubing every 90 days for those on Medicare and most private insurance.
Imagine a soft, brand new nasal mask delivered right to your door just as you need it.
These new sleep masks fit great, don't leak, and are ultra comfortable.
But that's not all. CPAP Care Club will send you one of these.
My brand new face mask and my sleep apnea supplies show up right at the front door.
Wake up your partner less often with a soft, brand new mask.
With CPAP Care Club, you get all your supplies delivered to your door. We pay shipping, we work with Medicare or your insurance, and we handle the paperwork. The 30-day comfort guarantee lets you see if a new mask is right for you. Change the way you care for your sleep apnea. Call CPAP Care Club now.
There's Chip Kelly arriving for the Rose Bowl. The interesting thing about this, we talk about coaches who have extra time to plan. He's already got such a wide open offense. Can you imagine the stuff that he's got ready?
It's going to be kind of like the Chick-fil-A Bowl with Auburn against Virginia.
Yeah.
You're not quite sure what you're going to see, but I think an important game for Oregon. People want to know, can they beat a quote-unquote power team? Haven't been able to do it.
To the goal line, Gillislee, and he's just inches short.
Has anybody hit harder in this game than Sabino? Wow. That looked like it was a walk-in touchdown until number 6 came. And I think you kick this. I think you go up 14 here. I don't see the upside if you miss. And they're going to get some boos, but I think strategically this is the right decision.
The only thing I'm thinking is if you don't make it, Ohio State's got to start from the 1 foot line.
Fair point.
And they haven't moved the ball except once all game.
Yeah, fair point. But we did show his resume earlier, which with all that defense in his background, I think he feels pretty good about 14.
Sturgis for the chip shot. And that does make it a 2-touchdown lead for the Gators with 14:09 left to go from Jacksonville, Florida. Stay with us.
It's the perfect time to find great deals on the 4G LTE devices you love, like the Droid Bionic by Motorola for $199.99. Or the Pantech Breakout for $49.99, our lowest price ever. Get the technology you love on the network you deserve. And for a limited time, get twice the data for the same low price. Verizon.
At a dry cleaner, we replaced people with a machine. Customers didn't like it. So why do banks do it?
Hello?
Hello? If your bank doesn't let you talk to a real person 24/7, you need an ally. Hello? Ally Bank. No nonsense, just people sense.
You felt like this before, right? 2:30 in the afternoon, a lot to do, and you've hit the wall. But you gotta get stuff done. So take 5-Hour Energy. Just open it up, knock it back, and roll up your sleeves. 5-Hour Energy is faster and easier than coffee. Man, does it work. You'll get that alert, energized feeling you need to get stuff done. A lot of stuff. Wow, look at you go. 5-Hour Energy, when you gotta get stuff done.
Leadership, excellence, performance. It's what Heisman and Aflac's all about. Aflac, an official partner of the Heisman Trophy.
It's time for Texas A&M to change the game. Time to share our Aggie spirit with our new family as we grow together. It's time for Texas A&M.
It's the granddaddy of them all. Monty Ball leads the Big Ten champs into Pasadena to take on LaMichael James and the Pac-12 champion Ducks. The 2012 Rose Bowl game, Wisconsin, Oregon. Coverage begins today at 4:30 on ESPN.
Showed you Chip Kelly of Oregon. There's Brett Bielema of the Badgers of Wisconsin arriving at the Rose Bowl for tonight's game. And a top 5 duel between two of the game's most feared offensive weapons tonight. Andrew Luck and number 4 Stanford taking on Justin Blackman and number 3 Oklahoma State in the Fiesta Bowl. Catch it tonight, 8:30 Eastern on ESPN. Ought to be a couple of points in that one, don't you think?
Yeah, I wonder if it's going to get even close to that Alamo Bowl with Washington and
my
Baylor. I don't
heavens.
know if we're going to quite see that, but I would suspect up in the 40s or 50s.
It was like an Arena League game. Attendance today at the Gator Bowl, 61,312 on a beautiful day. Jordan Hall deep for the kickoff. Ohio State has to get something going. Hall tries to spin out of a tackle, but can only get back to the 20. And we check in with Ryan Burr.
All right, Mike, Outback Bowl update. Things getting close now. Check out the Michigan State defense. Aaron Murray picked off by Darqueze Dennard. It's a pick 6 for the Spartans, pulling within 2. They went for 2, did not convert. So 16-14, that's over on ABC. Over on ESPN, Nebraska and South Carolina, Alshon Jeffrey has been ejected from that game. And on the U, Houston in control against Penn State.
Ryan, thanks very much. Here, it's the Buckeyes down by 2 touchdowns, and they'll start at their 20-yard line. Miller under pressure, got away this time. Flag is down. Somebody may have gotten a piece of his face mask. And it looked like Matt Elam, who's had a big game, reached up too high.
It's the second time Elam has come
Personal
on that
foul,
blitz.
grabbing the face mask by number 22 of the defense. It's a 15-yard penalty.
First time he just
and
beat
it's
the
a first
block.
down.
This time he came unblocked. And one thing that Braxton Miller does very well is he sets guys that are running free up. Good call by the referee. I have a mixed Mountain West Big 12 crew with us today, but the one thing Braxton Miller I've really been impressed with, whenever protection breaks down and it's one guy, he freezes him. He just stands there and then he moves quickly. He doesn't panic, he stays calm, and you've seen him time and time again this year make a free guy miss just like that.
Pretty good move for a kid who's 6'3", 210. He's got some excellent shiftiness and quickness about him. They'll run the option here. He keeps, and it's across the 35 to about the 38-yard line.
And I think what you have to do if you're Jim Bowman, the offensive coordinator and the offensive staff for Ohio State, is I think you have to keep these type of runs in. But then eventually they have a play action pass off of that option. And you saw a couple times against Michigan State, you have Corey Brown back from an ankle injury, very explosive. Devere Posey we've seen come free.
Right.
I think at some point you have to try to take the top off the defense down 2 scores.
Well, you said eventually is right around the corner. There's 13:21 to go in this game, and Hall on a little flanker screen, and Jonathan Bostic saw it coming and got in the backfield the same time the ball got there.
Well, the problem you have with a screen is you have an offensive lineman in Mike Adams who's going to try to get out and get the block on Bostic, but Bostic read that right away, and they had seen that play before.
Exactly.
So, you know, if you're Jim Bowman, I think you got to scratch that one out, because you're right. You're getting to a time where the plays that aren't working got to go, and you got to start stretching the field a little bit.
That's the 10th play of the game that has resulted in a loss of yards for Ohio State. Miller floats this one too high for Posey. And the Buckeyes will send on the punt team. If you can't throw the ball, eventually you get in a position like this where you're down a couple of scores, the other team is playing the run, and if you can't, you don't have a chance to come back.
Well, and you're not going to pot too many big runs against Florida. They've been pretty solid all year, and with the speed they have on the back end, even if you break one, you're looking at 15, 20 yards, not an 80-yard touchdown.
Rainey and Saunders are back. Buchanan to kick. Florida does not come after him this time. Beautiful punt. Saunders faked the reverse. Flag is down.
DeAndre Sanders on the return. There's a flag on the play.
6-yard return, or 10-yard return rather, after a punt of 47. Now we'll check out the marker.
Gentleman's bet, it's a block in the back. Have you ever done a game? Have you ever done a game where there was an illegal block in the back?
No, and I don't think I ever will. The official's still not sure what they're going to call on this.
Holding by number 6 of the receiving team.
Should have taken
the penalty is enforced at the end of the kick. First down.
Yeah, but it was holding. It wasn't a block in the back.
That's what I'm saying. You would have won.
12:22 to go. Gators by 14.
Dale, next time by. Next time by. 10-4. What are you doing down there? Filing my tax return. We don't have time for that. Already done.
Do what the guys who know a little bit about speed and efficiency do. Log on to TaxSlayer.com.
TaxSlayer.com supports our active duty military by providing a free tax return.
I wouldn't do that.
Get married?
No, I wouldn't use that single miles credit card. Nice ring. Knock it off. Ignore him. With the Capital One Venture Card, you earn double miles on every purchase.
3D is so real, Larry.
I'm right here, Larry. If you're not earning double miles, you're settling for half. Really? A plaid tie? What are we in prep school?
Get the Venture Card at CapitalOne.com and earn double miles on every purchase every day.
What's in your wallet? I was gonna say that.
Immerse yourself in a place where you can relax and go with the flow. A place where you can go offline and where you can reconnect. Visit a place where the sun shines 300 days and the stress melts away. Jacksonville, Florida. Immerse yourself here.
Check it.
Need a better battery? Get the one preferred by Autotex 5-to-1 over any other. Interstate batteries. Outrageously dependable.
Kick can fly. 89 yards, Andre DeBose. And the Gators come after it, and they get it. The memories so far belong to the Florida Gators because they are up by 2 touchdowns with 12:22 to go. And they have the ball back at their 9-yard line. Rainey. Nice cut to the outside, forced out of bounds around the 13. It has not been a premier season in the state of Florida. We're at Everbank Field in Jacksonville. The Gators trying to avoid their first losing record since 1979. They're currently 6-6. But look at the struggles in the other parts of the state. The Seminoles of Florida State at 9-4. Florida International comes up the southernmost team at 8-5. Outside of that, pretty mediocre stuff.
Shocking with how much talent is in this state.
Sure is. Rainey. Right at the sticks at the 19-yard line. Looks like he has enough for a first down.
And now Ohio State's going to have to start committing a lot of bodies up to the line of scrimmage, which then, of course, brings in the run action pass if you're Florida. But I would suspect that Jim Haycock is going to start walking some people down, the defensive coordinator for Ohio State, who is calling his last game for the Buckeyes. Wonderful career for Coach Haycock, 16 years, 4th longest tenure. And if you have watched, he's been the defensive line coach. If you have watched that defensive line play, he's going to get a job somewhere else. Still wants to keep grinding it out, and he should be hired here shortly.
I'd say tomorrow, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And really, when you have a guy like Rainey who's 174 pounds, or even Demps who's 190, not the kind of grinded out players that you want to have carrying the ball with a 2-touchdown lead and 11 minutes to go.
And in talking to Will Muschamp, that's the part of this team he wants to fix. He called them soft publicly, been saying it in the building for weeks, but he said it publicly after Florida State, and a lot of it starts up front. This offensive line thin, not used to this type of blocking scheme, and he needs to rebuild this team, in his words, from the inside out.
Rainey to the outside. It was interesting because Muschamp said if he could go back and change one thing, he would be so much more physical getting this team ready for the season.
And he was really worried. The reason he made that choice during training camp is because the numbers were down.
Exactly. He didn't want to get people hurt.
Yeah, the numbers were down a little bit before Urban Meyer left and retired. And then they came into camp. You have attrition whenever a new coach comes in. They lost 12 guys that left for various reasons or were kicked off. And so he was worried about injuries, but they changed that a little bit during training or during the bowl prep.
Big play here, trying to keep the drive alive. They go with the middle screen. Close.
Nice conservative call there by Brian White on 3rd and long. If it's not there, you throw it into the ground.
They're not even going to measure. They're going to say it's first down. Another couple of minutes off the clock. We're down to 9:49, still running. And this is all they need to do.
A little bit of a generous spot there.
Yes, it was.
Merry Christmas to the Gators.
It's where the ball is when the knee first goes down, or any other body part for that matter, except your hand. Quarterback keeper, and that's Burton out of the Wildcat late this afternoon in the latest chapter of one of college football's great traditions. 2 conference champions meet in Pasadena. Number 10 Wisconsin, number 5 Oregon in the Rose Bowl game, presented by Vizio on ESPN, ESPN Radio, and ESPN3, as well as streaming live on ESPN.com and the Watch ESPN app. Brantley back in. Demps will try the right side, and Demps powers his way up to the 44-yard line. And a little pushing and shoving going on the sideline.
And now you're at the point in the game. As an offensive lineman, I used to love this part. In the 4th quarter, the bigger bodies start to get a little more tired on the defensive side than they are on the offensive side. You know, you hear, if you've ever been around a football practice, you hear pursuit, pursuit, pursuit. Defensive coaches yelling at the defensive players to chase the ball. Well, the 300-pounders for Ohio State on defense have been chasing the ball. The 300-pounders for Florida, after the play's over, they just walk back to the huddle.
Yep. Rainey. Smart stays in bounds, cuts it back across midfield to the Ohio State 48-yard line. So when you're an offensive lineman in that situation, you're starting to get a chance to tee off on guys.
You know what you find? What I found as the game wore on, the guys can't get away from you as easily. So, you know, you get your hands inside. There's holding on every play, and you're able to control the guy a little bit more because he just doesn't have that pop he had in the first half. And that's what we're starting to see. This offensive line, which has been banged up, have had to move guys all around, especially a tackle, starting to take over the game.
2nd and 3, so they have a couple of shots at getting another first down. Rainey goes down right at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and 2 coming.
And I think you look at this Florida team going forward into next year. I'm not sure offensively they're going to quite be there where they can win the SEC East. I think that Georgia is going to be the class of that side of the conference. And I think it's going to take this offensive staff and whoever they bring in to be the new offensive coordinator. I think it's going to take a couple of years before they can really get to where they want to be with this power offense.
It's not an easy transition when you go dramatically to the other side. 3rd and 2, Ohio State desperately has to have a stop here, and Burton will be hitting the backfield and taken down. They did what they had to do. Sabino came up from his outside linebacker spot to make another big stop. And the Gators will have to kick it away, but the clock's still running. We're under 7 minutes.
Great run blitz called by Jim Haycock and the defensive staff of Ohio State. They knew I think they were dialed into your microphone there, knowing that they needed a big stop. That was a nice time to call a blitz.
Hall drops back inside his 10. Christie to punt. That drive, even though it only got to midfield, consumed 6 minutes of valuable time on a 4th quarter clock. Ohio State trying to apply some pressure. Christie hangs this one up short, and Hall's not going to have a chance. It takes a big bounce for the Gators inside the 15 to the 13-yard line. 41-yard kick with the roll. Big task ahead for Braxton Miller. He's only thrown for 83 yards. Going to need at least that much to mount a comeback.
Okay, who gets occasional constipation, diarrhea, gas, or bloating? Get ahead of it. One Phillips Colon Health Probiotic Cap a day helps defend against digestive issues with 3 strains of good bacteria.
Hit me!
Live the regular life. Phillips.
So, how do you feel?
Like tonight's my night.
Get in, get confident. Supercuts every time.
The Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, Stanford, Oklahoma State, tonight on ESPN.
Attention those on Medicare with diabetes. You may be eligible for an upgraded meter.
If you're tired of stabbing your fingertips to test your blood glucose, we have news that could change your life. If you're on Medicare with diabetes, then you need to know there's an alternative method for checking your blood glucose every day. You don't need to stab your fingertips anymore. The Embrace meter from Diabetes Care Club is easier to use and nearly painless. And the best news is that Diabetes Care Club would love to send you one of these meters. This method hurts less, and because you can see and hear your results, it may be easier to understand.
Your blood glucose reading is 89.
Call now to find out why. Nearly 250,000 patients have joined Diabetes Care Club. Membership is free, so is the call.
Call 1-800-933-5853.
Talk to Diabetes Care Club.
$14.99.
You know, LaMichael James will play a huge part in the Rose Bowl tonight. Leads the FBS in rushing per game, almost 150 yards. They find a way to get him in space so beautifully. And who would have guessed this, that Garrett Wolf is second in FBS history, first 3 seasons in rushing yards between Herschel Walker and LaMichael James.
And LaMichael James may not have had a chance to be on that board had LeGarrette Blount not punched a guy at that Boise State game. Remember, that was the game. Blount was a starter. He gets kicked off the team for the balance of the season, and in comes LaMichael James, and he's never let go of the job.
Gave him his opportunity. Florida coming on the blitz. Miller throws underneath. And nothing there as Herron is taken down by Jonathan Bostic, the middle linebacker. And the short stuff, they're going to give you anything you want under 10 yards.
And still pressure coming. You can see Elam once again. This guy, well, you got to block him, you know.
Yeah.
And the timing, Braxton's got to come back and come off of that. But at some point, Ohio State's going to have to stretch the field.
Draw play, Herron trying to get to the outside. Good stiff arm, pushed out of bounds, stopping the clock at the 18-yard line. I think here's the thing that frustrates Ohio State fans right now. We're sitting here saying, you know, eventually you got to take your shots, and they don't. And there's 5:29 left in game. You're down by 2 scores. Running draw plays, I don't care how successful it's going to be. It's not going to help you that much, is it?
And that's been the complaint all year. They felt Ohio State fans, the ones that get on the comment boards and those things, have had problems with the conservative play calling, and we're seeing here it again, down 2 scores, that is.
Florida comes with the blitz again. Miller throws, and it's too far for Posey. That's the guy you want to target, and Posey was covered very well by Cody Riggs.
If I was working with Braxton Miller this offseason, the first thing I would do is teach him how to underthrow the ball. It's a skill set. When you watch NFL games or you watch the great quarterbacks, you have to underthrow that ball. The coverage is there. So the throw has to be absolutely perfect. But if you overthrow it, the guy can never catch it. You underthrow it, your receiver can stop. Maybe he draws the flag. But that is one thing that Braxton Miller has to add to his game, is the underthrow.
Ohio State to kick to Saunders. high, and he'll let it go. And it will roll dead at the 31-yard line with only 4 minutes and 50 seconds to go in this game. A kick of 50 yards, but the Gators did one thing they needed to do. They didn't fumble it away.
I'm a taxpayer.
I'm a tax slayer.
The tax software I use does simple returns, business returns, and rental properties.
Mine does too.
Mine's quick and easy.
Mine too.
I got a deduction finder.
I do too.
Well, mine's only $79.95. Why is she laughing?
TaxSlayer.com supports our active duty military by providing a free tax return.
It's game day, and nothing says I'm lazy and I just woke up like a bag of chips. Except maybe ice, which also says I'm cheap too. Ah, 7-layer dip. Someone's mom just dropped them off. And then there's the Taco 12-pack. It's the type of thing that says I'm confident, I'm original, and I've got at least 11 friends. The Taco 12-pack. 12 classic crunchy tacos boxed up and ready for game day. Now at Taco Bell.
As my world turns, the heartbeat, not only in my chest, but the heart in the street. So when they feel this, they feel me, but I can't feel nothing outside these Dre beats. I am from the city of people, came from the bottom.
Yo, I'm on my way.
Experience your sound like never before. The HTC Resound with Beats Audio built in. Let the pros at Best Buy hook you up today.
Cancer can take away all my physical abilities. It cannot touch my mind, it cannot touch my heart, and it cannot touch my soul. And those three things are going to carry on forever.
To help keep Jimmy V's dream alive, please call 1-800-4-JIMMY-V. Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
ESPN College Football, the TaxSlayer.com Gator Bowl is brought to you by TaxSlayer.com. $9.95 for your federal tax return. The Capital One Venture Card. What's in your wallet? And Visit Jacksonville. Go to www.visitjacksonville.com to plan your next Florida vacation.
Boy, all those boats were out on the water the other night for the fireworks display, which was spectacular downtown. Tradition they have here on New Year's Eve.
Woke me up out of my slumber. I didn't quite make it to midnight.
Jeez, come on. Gators will go into full clock-killing mode right now. Let's take a look at today's quarterback spotlight, brought to you by Dove Men Plus Care.
And it looking like John Brantley's going to go out a winner. And Braxton Miller, he was efficient, although didn't hit any long balls, which obviously are going to be the problem here in the fourth quarter. But for John Brantley, you have to feel good about a young man. He came in following Tim Tebow, did not fit the offense, just got beat to death by some of the fans when he was struggling last year. Started out the year, was playing well, played great in that first half against Alabama before he got hurt. And looks like he's going to go out a winner.
Gillislee. All they're trying to do is stay in bounds and keep the clock running. Ohio State has its full complement of timeouts. But to make those usable, you've got to stop somebody on defense.
And this, we remember, was the time on the last drive where Jim Haycock dialed up a blitz on about a third medium. So how do you beat that? Sometimes you run a draw and the blitz will run right by it.
Gators have been very good using up the clock here with 3.5 minutes and counting. Brantley out of the eye. He's going to give it to Gillislee, and Gillislee stopped short. And now Ohio State will use its first timeout. Jonathan Hankins made the stop. He's the second leading tackler on this ball club. So they stop it at the 3:16 mark. In his first season as head coach, Brady Hoke has Denard Robinson as quarterback in his 13th ranked Michigan Wolverines in the BCS Bowl. Tomorrow night they'll go against number 11 Virginia Tech in the All-State Sugar Bowl. You can catch it on ESPN, ESPN Radio, ESPN3, also streaming live on WatchESPN.com and the Watch ESPN app tomorrow night. Coverage starts at 8 Eastern.
I know a lot of people were a little upset that Virginia Tech, after getting beat in the ACC championship game, got into the Sugar Bowl, but I think that's a pretty good matchup. David Wilson, a dynamic running back for Virginia Tech, going against a much improved Michigan defense.
Aren't they ever?
Oh,
it's just a magnificent job this year.
Yeah, Greg Madison, a defensive coordinator, and Brady Hoke, both with defensive line backgrounds, and the defensive line pretty stout.
That was pretty much a remarkable transition this year, because that defense at best was inept the last couple of years before this one. And now for today's Capital One player of the game, and it's Andre DeBose with that Gator Bowl record 99-yard kickoff return. And I think they're
looking for a Gatorade
with that Gatorade. Yeah.
Well, we had to give it to one guy, and because we can't give it to the 10 who blocked for Andre here, and I'm not going to take it away. Obviously, he has the speed, but that was pretty good blocking by his return guy. So we'll give him the player of the game, but he needs to share it, break it up into 11 pieces.
Ohio State right now needs a miracle. Miller over the middle and has the pass complete to Chris Fields, his first catch. Fields caught 7 balls during the regular season.
And not their strong suit, obviously, for Ohio State. When your leading receiver has 14 catches, it's been a tough year in the throwing game.
Miller again goes underneath to Hyde, and Hyde will pick up a few across the 30. But Florida is content to give them any one of these they want to throw, because it will eat up so much time. Miller floats this one to Heron. Heron belted, won't go down, turns around, does not get out of bounds, and Matt Elam ran into him twice, and we'll check in with Janine Edwards. Janine?
Well, Mike, one guy that the Buckeyes certainly have missed on the field, tight end Jake Stoneburner. He is their co-leading receiver for the year, but he had arthroscopic knee surgery last month, and he's told me, he said, I tried to get back for this game. I really wanted to play in it because I'm a junior, and this would have been my last bowl game, but I just couldn't do it. And he said that it's a shame that the Buckeyes are going to go out here with a losing record for the season.
Miller throws a jump ball. That one's going to be caught at the 27-yard line by Devin Smith. And that's exactly what you talked about. Give your guy a chance to make a play.
The offensive player almost always gets his eyes back on the ball before the defensive player. It's actually the way the defense knows to start looking for the ball is when the offensive player finds it. So if you underthrow it, your guy has the advantage.
Underneath again to Devin Smith.
And going back to Jake Stoneburner, being a junior, not being able to play in a bowl because of NCAA sanctions last year. You know, Tom Herman, when he got the job, was talking about, hey, don't put us in a box of what type of offense we're going to run. When they get in, get together with their staff, and of course a lot of the staff that is here for Ohio State is going to transition right over into Urban Meyer's staff. And they're going to find a place for Stoneburner. Good, big, physical athlete who can run. So he will find a place in that offense. And Tom Herman was saying, hey, don't just put us in a box and tell us what we're going to be. They're going to find out who they have and what best suits them.
Want to thank our producer, Scott Matthews, our director, Patrick I almost said Patrick McEnroe. Patrick McManus. And Mark Fredrickson and Dave Dare up here in the booth. You guys have had an exemplary year, and we thank you for all the hard work, our entire crew. Nobody works harder than the people on this crew to try to bring you the best in college football, and we are deeply grateful for all your efforts. Ohio State with 1:31 left. Miller under pressure gets away. Still looking downfield. Now he runs. Did not get out of bounds and reached the 12-yard line. That's he and Herron have both made the same kind of plays. They could have saved 30 seconds of play by just going the opposite direction.
Yeah, now that you're inside of 2 minutes and the clock does stay stopped out of bounds, that was a freshman mistake.
Their only hope to score here, go for the onside kick, get it back and do it again. Out in the flat to Hall. Hall fighting for yardage. Hall, touchdown. What an effort by Jordan Hall. A little swing. He was left to do it on his own, and he did. 5 different Gators had shots at him.
Right when this ball was thrown, I thought the same thing we've been talking about. Sprint, get out of bounds, but Hall had a different thought. And the Gators not looking so good in the open field there, but Hall been a nice AB to Dan Herron here late in the season.
The point after would make it a 7-point game. Miller was 6 out of 6 for 82 yards and a touchdown on that drive. Florida did accomplish one thing, however. They made them burn up so much of the clock. There's only 57 seconds left. That's why people hate what is always referred to as that prevent defense.
But you're up 2 scores. 57 seconds. You already mentioned we're going to have an onside kick, which is one of my favorite plays in all of football.
At the conclusion of our game, log on to ESPN3 to see live coverage of the TaxSlayer.com Gator Bowl trophy presentation.
Now, one of the rules in college football, in your alignment for kickoffs, you can't overload one side. You have to have at least 4 guys on either side of the kicker. So what I always think you can do here is make Florida guess which way you're going to go. Don't just immediately show which direction you're going to kick it, so that they have to stay balanced as well on their hands team as they're receiving it.
To you, is that a safety issue, not being able to load one side of the field?
You know, it's funny. I asked an official one time why they do that, and that is ultimately what they came down to. But he said, you know, I still don't know why they do it. But yeah, when you have that many bodies over there, and it looks like they're clearly going to go over to their right.
They've tried one onside kick this year, 0 for 1. The percentage is not very good.
Florida calls their first timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
I like that timeout.
Absolutely.
See the formation? Yep. Okay.
Yep.
Now it's like basketball. You see they're going to be in a 2-3 zone. You call timeout. Yeah. Then they go to man-to-man. So what do you do here? You line up differently?
If I'm Ohio State, absolutely. Absolutely. Why give them the advantage that they got to see what you're doing? And it's something you do so many times during the year. You have 2 or 3 different ways to line up. So.
Longest streak since the last 7-loss season. Ohio State, 1897. Didn't even know you played 7 games in 1897. Barring a miracle, this will equal that mark. You don't want to be breaking negative records set 2 centuries
You know, though,
ago.
they should be proud of what they did this year. Under the duress they were under, they should be very proud of how they held together.
Onside kick recovered by the Gators.
And I think Luke Fickell, he got a shot as the interim head coach, took over May 30th after Jim Tressel stepped down as the head coach. He's going to stick around as the co-defensive coordinator. But I think this young man has put himself in a position to be a head coach someday with how he managed this year.
He did it with great class. Stephen Ali was the man who recovered that onside kick to lock this one up. Ohio State has 1 timeout left. But all the Gators really have to do is take a knee.
And guess what these coaches get to do starting tomorrow? Start recruiting again. Yeah. They come out of a dark period, right back on the road to try to get their classes together before National Signing Day in early February.
This is not a 40-hour-a-week job.
No.
For somebody who wants to get into football, you just work constantly.
And we were talking to Will Muschamp yesterday, and I I said, so you get to get back and relax? He said, no, I'm going right back out on the road to start recruiting. And of course, with two teams that he will be fighting for recruits against, LSU and Alabama, not playing until January 9th, you want to get out there, and anybody who hasn't quite made their decision yet, start nudging them towards being a Gator. And he said recruiting's been going terrifically well.
Here come a couple of the receivers and special teams guys who've been plotting this. Well, at least it's 62, 63 degrees today. And the Florida Gators will walk out of home country, Jacksonville, with a 24-17 win over the Buckeyes of Ohio State. Will Muschamp will go to 7-6 on the season. He gets his first victory. They'll have to snap it one more time at another kneel down. This is a great way to start your career, isn't it?
Yep. And they've got a long way to go. He's very clear. Will Muschamp's very clear about how much work they have to do. The numbers are way down. They need to recruit a lot of offensive linemen. A power back would help. But starting out 7-6 and holding together, and you know they had a bunch of games there that could have gone either way. This could have been an 8-4, 9-3 bunch at the end of the regular season. And defensively, I think they'll be there ready to win an SEC championship. Offensively, I'm not quite sure they're going to be there next season.
He's going to have to do it in the toughest conference in college football. Southeastern Conference will have two teams playing for a national championship, of course. Our final score here, Florida 24, Ohio State 17. Coming up next, Sports Center. Don't forget at 5 on ESPN, the Rose Bowl. Number 10, Wisconsin. Number 5, Oregon. For live coverage of the TaxSlayer.com Gator Bowl Trophy Celebration, log on to ESPN3. For Ed Cunningham, Janine Edwards, and our entire crew, this is Mike Patrick saying so long from Jacksonville. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Do you still think that Andrew Luck should be looking for real estate?
Yeah, I think Jim Caldwell will not be back in Indianapolis. That'd be my guess right now. Look, if you're going to clean out the entire front office after a 2-14 season, and the coach basically got most of his support from the deposed general manager and vice president, then it's hard to imagine that he's back. Now, we'll see. We should get an answer here fairly soon. And then in regards to who they take in the draft and Peyton Manning, Jim Irsay's going to have a big say in that, and Jim Irsay's going to want Peyton Manning back, but at some point he and Peyton Manning are going to have to sit down and decide what's best for that organization and what's best for Peyton Manning.
All right, Adam Schefter with the latest. Get yourself an iPhone.
That's what I think I'm going to do.
All right, with the latest on all things NFL as this coaching carousel continues to roll.
Oh, we got 4 great games open wild card weekend, starting with the Bengals and the Texans. Cincinnati looking for their first playoff win since 1990. And then in the nightcap is 2 high-powered offenses in the Lions and Saints at 8 Eastern. The Giants, they got in when the NFC East and the Falcons play Sunday at 1 Eastern. Then Tim Tebow and the Broncos, beep, 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 back their way into the playoffs. They host Big Ben and the Steelers in another AFC matchup. That means it's time for the real season to begin, hanging out